Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. How y'all doing out there? And trust me, I see you. Oh, yeah, I see you. I see you. I just been sitting back, man. I told y'all how I feel, man. When I feel like, man, I don't got nothing good to say about boxing, I'm the type where I ain't got nothing to say. You know how when they say if you ain't got nothing good to say about somebody, don't say nothing at all. That's me, man. I might be dating myself. But I remember on the movie Colors, you know what I'm saying, with Sean Penn when he was just a young lad, you know what I'm saying? At a movie with Dennis Hoffman. That's the infamous scene when he was just like, hey man, let's run down there and one of them bulls. And Sean Penn was like, nah, let's walk down there. Come on. In that same movie, Sean Penn fell in love with a woman, and he didn't know who he was dealing with. And it wasn't until he hit the strip and things was lit, and he seen his lady, and she was like, this is me, Pac-Man. You know what I'm saying? That's what boxing is doing to us right now, man. Boxing is out on the strip saying, this is me, Pac-Man. Yeah. You ain't know who you was in love with. Yeah. That's the sport of boxing. That's the sport of boxing, man. Sport of boxing, man. We don't even know who we in love with. We just in love with the sport. How ugly as it is, man. How trifling, how nasty, how inconsiderate it is of us. But how intriguing, how hypnotizing, how thrill fulfilling, how obnoxious, how deliberate, yet deceivable, how agreeable, but yet so unforgiving. This sport of boxing is for us, man. And man, I wouldn't even be myself if I didn't even start it off with anything that we was on before. And so I gotta go back through a couple just reminders, just quick reminders, man. Just stick with me. If you can't stick with me, hey, you might not even need to be here. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, because I gotta go right back into my curriculum, man. And I was trying. I was trying to be observant. I was trying to sit back. I was trying to listen. I was trying to wait. I was trying to learn from my elders. I was trying to. I was trying to say, you know what, man, they know more than me. They're older than me. They know more boxing history than me. They know boxing law. They have the tenure. They've been around for 11 years. And guess what I found? Maury Povich, TMZ, regurgitation. I heard a man get up on a major platform and regurgitate something I said the other night, and I told y'all they was going to get up there and say it like they ain't hear it first. And I be getting frustrated because these cats be making money off this. It'd be different if they gave a shout out. If they really said who they was getting it from, it'd be a little different. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. At least he shouted out where he got it from. But it's whole different when they get up there and act like this is newfound knowledge, when it's really memorization and regurgitation 101. I'm talking about these lower level folks claiming that they on some upper echelon. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is the action of repetitively and often brazenly lying to someone to manipulate and ultimately control them and the relationship. It could be divided into 4 different types. Outright lying, people just telling you outright lies, manipulation of reality, stuff that you know that's going on when they acting like it's not. We went over the Twilight Zone moment, scapegoating, putting it off on everybody else. Oh no, man, that was PBC. But then you dropped the mic on Bob Arum saying that he couldn't get you the best fights and that's why you leaving. Can't have it both ways. Coercion. People using intimidation tactics and, oh man, you ain't gonna be one of the ones that can call in on this show. You ain't gonna be able to get it off over here, man, if you don't bow down and kiss the ring. I'm like, please. I'm not getting down, man, but it's been a shame, man. We got to go over the common tactics because I think people still are finding themselves falling victim to this. Misdirection. The abuser changes the subject or redirects the conversation to confuse the victim. Misdirection. What is all this about? All of this is about misdirection. This Bohemian Grove and all these buzzwords that'll get your joint shut down. Like, what do you think that's all about? What y'all think this all about? I've been told y'all it was a circus. People were just now coming around and say, oh man, why don't he just nix the fight? Why don't he just... We're going to get around that, down to that tonight. Yeah, minimization. The abuser downplays the victim's feelings, making them feel like their concerns are insignificant or like they're being overly sensitive. Like, I'm just being too emotional. I'm just overthinking this. I just have too many feelings in this. It's like, nah, son. You lying, son. I'm just calling you out. I'm just dropping you where you stand, B. Well, what type of abuse is coercion? First and foremost, coercive control is a form of domestic abuse. We can support you if your abuser is perpetrating this abuse. You are not alone. Coercive control is an act or a pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, intimidation that abusers use to harm, punish, or frighten survivors. People trying to humiliate you. Get up here so I can make a mockery out of you. And people like getting abused because they step right up. How do you diffuse it? Because we are solution oriented. How do you diffuse a gaslighter? The best way to outsmart a gaslighter is to disengage. You can show up to the discussion with a mountain of evidence, videos, recordings, and more, and gaslighting person will still find a way to deflect, minimize, deny. It is more worth it to walk away with your perception intact. And that's why we do that body work, man. And this is why I gotta take us back today, man. Like, what is this all about, Mike? The fact of the matter is we are in a revolving pattern. I tried to tell y'all this. I even tried to warn Subriel about signing that deal with Eddie Hearn. And I was sitting back, I was waiting in the wings, I was looking at everything, and I'm like, man, all of this look familiar. And I'm like, well, what do you tell the people? I'm just like, right now, you don't tell the people anything, because I'm telling you, it's hard when somebody, think about it, a voice like myself, think about me trying to compete with a bullhorn or a fire alarm. It's people that sounding the alarm all day, every day. They are the loudest voices on the internet. They are the end all be all. Whenever they say something, whenever they chirp, whenever they twerk, whenever they tweet, whenever they speak a single thing, everybody is waiting there like, ooh wee, and they get nothing. It's hard to compete with that. When everybody want to be first, everybody want to have that angle, everybody want to have that spin. I told y'all, people out here microwaving their research, and I had to sit back. And I'm like, man, it's mighty strange. Like, I think like 2 days I gave the definition of insanity, and I heard on a major platform somebody give the definition of insanity. But I'm like, man, Mike, do it just be me? And I had to sit back and listen. I'm like, man, do they really be? Because it's one thing to be vain, like everybody just doing this. But then when I heard my man get up there and spit out something about Barbosa, that the only place I ever heard it from was over here. He got up there and spit it like it was his own. And then me got in the nerve, having the nerve to talk about other YouTubers and content creators. It's like, man, YouTube is a weird space. That's why I salute my kidneys. You know what I'm saying? Salute the kidneys, man. Because I think from February the 7th to March, well, from February the 14th to March the 7th, we got like 25,000 views for a small channel like this, man. I salute. Somebody listening, somebody watching. We see the zone whole people's thumbnails. I'm seeing people that be like, they don't say nothing when I go on their channel and I comment and be like, hey, salute. They don't say nothing, but I see their thumbnails changing. That's why I be saying, man, never underestimate the power of influence, man. Don't forget, it's a super chat button over here. Yeah, we don't ask for it, but it's for me. Like, the insult to injury is when I see somebody getting super chatted for something that I know they stole from over here. Support this, if anything. Why? Because I'm trying to come to these fights. I got some information today to let me know, man, it's only going to be a matter of time to where whenever it's a fight, I'm going to be able to be there. Especially when I want to see. But I got to take y'all back. I got to take y'all back because it's a lot of people that got to see to believe. You know what I'm saying? And then there's some people that will believe and then they see. See, me, I believe it before I see it. I'm a faith-based individual, and I think that everybody has a certain amount of faith, but then some people have faith misplaced. And it's like, well, how do you do it? The same way I be talking to my lady, because I tell my lady a lot of things. I be like, baby, I just be telling you this so you don't think I'm crazy, because this is what I see. You know what I'm saying? It's only, you know, blah, blah, blah. I be running it down. Because it's like some things that make you feel like, hey, people will actually make you feel like you're gaslighted. People will actually make it seem like something is happening, something that they're not doing. Like, remember Malcolm X when he said, get your hand out my pocket? You don't think it was nobody's hand in his pocket before you heard rocket? You don't think so? Somebody always got their hand in your pocket before it's rockets. So I take it, you know what I'm saying? I try to stick to boxing over here on this channel. Even though I be wanting to go real deep. Only thing I can tell you is that there's nothing new under the sun. And in order to be good men and good women, you know what I'm saying, we got to do good things. We got to have good moral fiber, man. We got to be able to, like, if you know a source, if you get something from a certain source, just give the shout out. Salute whoever did it. I have no problem in doing it. But even when I do that, it backfires on me. Because it look like I'm trying to affiliate or do this, but I'm talking, hey, never underestimate the power of influence. Never underestimate the power of planting a seed, no matter how small it is. It's going to develop a harvest. And that's why I say at this point in time in my life, I have no interest in planting bad seeds. I'm only planting the good ones. They don't mean that if something come across my way or something is coming down the pike, I ain't gonna fire back like Iron Mike. No, that's not what that means. That just means that I'm more mature. I'm more forthright. I'm willing to duke it out mentally. I'm willing to see how we can do this thing, you know what I'm saying, on a higher level. Because when we shut down these computers and we close these doors, if I don't know you in that sense, I don't know you outside of this. And I'm going to treat it like everything else. But with no further ado, I'm going to get more into the curriculum. And this was going to be a way back Wednesdays, but I had to sit back and observe. And I said, man, boxing, man, it seemed like the conversation around boxing is so strange, man. It's so strange. And so that I don't feel like that I'm biting off anybody else or that I'm just trying to berate, belittle, degrade. But if you listen to the boxing conversations over the last 2 days, if you are a hardcore boxing affiliate like myself, you be ashamed. Point blank, period. Out of everything you hear, everything you see, there's some people you can't satisfy them no matter what fight coming up. No matter how they speak about anything, it's always going to be negative. It's never going to be positive. It's always going to be, if it's this promotional company, you're going to on that. They're going to over-exaggerate on that. It's always going to come around to being about them. It's always going to boil down to them getting around to that. It's boring. It ain't no flavor. A bunch of old motherfuckers out here hating. That's all it really is, man. Like, old people biting, hating. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing, like, man, I'm telling you, man, age ain't nothing but a number in today's damn time. Don't let the fact that somebody been tenured, been around, man, they are old fools still lurking around. Yeah, they are. Do not be distracted. Do not be distracted. Do not be led astray. You know what I'm saying? You can stay on that beaten path, but it's a bunch of haters out here. Only thing that we can do is keep putting benchmarks in the ground, stakes in the ground, points of references from things that you've learned, things that we've went over, things that we have cinched down in our rucksack. And we have to pay attention to one Mr. Rolly Romero on today. Yeah. We got to go back to some things that Rolly Romero said. I'll be here. We're going to navigate this thing. This was going to be a way back Wednesdays, but I'm turning into a throwback Thursdays. You know what I'm saying? So I got to stop the music. I got to present. Let me let y'all know that I'm here. But I got to present. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully you be patient. I'm going to share some screen. And we're going to get down to the bottom of some things. This was it. That's the thumbnail. You can learn a lot from a dummy. This was 2 years ago. And since we speak facts plus tax, look at that. Who is that? People be saying that this guy, people be trying to say that I get a lot of stuff from this guy. But I'm like, damn, if I look back 2 years ago on this video, who is that? Who is that right there? What'd that say? Damn, fam. You do have haters already, or maybe just lurking fanboys. That might be a good thing, though. Feeling shackled by this YouTube blocking videos I ain't with it. Might have to curve this game plan. Rolly is a character, but I haven't listened to him enough to see what he's about. It seems like he has embraced a villain type role to sell, which is intelligent. But what I do know for a fact is highly intelligent people virtually never last in combat sports. If you can get that money somewhere else, why get punched in the head? Keep the grind going, fam. Good video. Eureka. 2 years ago, this guy, but I remember a major platform talking out the side of his motherfucking neck, talking about I'll be biting this guy and this and this and that. During this time, we were doing the same thing and we were complaining about the copyright strikes and all of that. But Tim Bradley didn't shout at him out. Nobody shouts me out, but they do the same thing that we both were doing. But this is under that video. I didn't even know that was going to pop up. I promise. This was September the 2nd, 2021. This was September the 2nd, 2021. So we got to get into this, y'all. Oh, yeah.
I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I
do. I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just fighting motherfucker. Doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, we gotta lock it up. I'm not on top.
Hey, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all that. I do that job outside the ring. I'm the fighter, like I said before. There ain't no safety in the class, so
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. I never once asked how much I was gonna make, who I was fighting, or any of that shit.
Yeah.
Until I fought for the world title.
Yeah.
I never once asked about how much money I was gonna make or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because to me, all that money was irrelevant.
Yeah.
And to me, it still is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not hard to make money outside of boxing. I mean, not every millionaire is a fucking boxer.
What's going on? It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. You heard? Hey, at any point in time in this video, if there is any kind of truth, if you like anything, go ahead and put out that stick on my like button. Jab my like button, please. But I've been following the Roelly and Devin saga, and what you heard just now was Roelly on the Porter's way. And I'm gonna use a couple sources in this video. You know, like in college, when you write your paper, you gotta attribute your sources. So I'm gonna use some Porter Way. I'm gonna use some barbershop conversations. I'm gonna use some Eddie on the Zone, and I'm gonna use the Fight Hype video to kind of make what I'm saying make sense. Cause I did a segment, a 5-part segment, the 5 biggest myths in boxing, and number 5 was that Devin was a boogeyman. Yeah, and it was perceived as being hating. And what I have found is that in some of the things, in the way I look at everything, business wise, because that's what I have a degree in business. I look at things kind of different. So a lot of times when I speak on things, it actually comes out as if I was hating, and I'm really not. But I'm seeing that I'll put out some information, and since I'm just a fledgling channel, I don't really get the views and the likes. So when I comment and I say certain things, it's, oh, you just hating. But like what I'm saying is that there's a very big curve in what I'm saying, because I've said something like about 4 months ago. I got videos with these very things that I'm bringing up right now, and now more and more people are coming out and saying certain things, and it lines up what I had been saying like 5 or 6 months ago. So I want to get into it. You ever see that commercial growing up? You know what I'm saying? I'm an 80s baby. You know what I'm saying? Born in 80, you know. And it was a commercial with a mannequin. And at the end, it said you can learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle up. Y'all remember that commercial? Yeah. Oh, I'm aging myself. Anyways, I bring that up because even though it was a mannequin, a talking mannequin, and he was, saying everything he was saying, about safety and all that, and people were just looking at him like, who's this dummy? You know what I'm saying? It was like, but the dummy was basically speaking a lot of truth and saying a lot of things. And there's this perception about Rolly that he's a dummy and he's off and, all this. I don't have that perception. The insight he was actually able to give on the Porter's way when he shined a little bit more light on his personality, and Sean Porter did an excellent job with journalism and actually bringing some of those things out and getting his mindset with how he thinks. And he knows that boxing is like uh, getting rich in it and making money. Like, yeah, if that's really your main thing, you can, but that's not the priority. And for Rolly to say that at that young age, let me know that that man, he might talk with a little, he might have a little speech impediment, so many people do talk with a little lisp and he make little faces or whatever. But I believe that Rolly has already figured this boxing game out. And I think that he already knows that he's going to have success outside of boxing, whether it's in acting or if you go to MMA with his martial arts background. I don't know what he's going to do, but I deem that he already knows that it's a trail that he can follow to actually make money outside of boxing. I think that with all the politics in boxing and what's going on, I think that he realizes that, I gotta smell these roses. I gotta actually be real. And I always have these perception versus reality type conversations. You know, when you may be perceiving something a certain way, but the reality of it is as such. So let me just go ahead and dive in. I'm gonna speak on this first thing that he said. You know what I'm saying in this clip.
They don't want him to fight that much from what I'm hearing. They're asking for too much fucking money. More money than what fucking Devin's worth because he doesn't even fill up an arena. The fucking star right there is me. The one that over there is filling the crowd, the exciting fighter there is me.
And basically what he was basically saying is in a roundabout way, he was trying to say that Devin and them was like kind of like pricing itself out. They want too much money. And I'm like, well, if he was the first one to actually say that, then you could be like, oh, that's cap. As the young people like to say all the time now. That's cap, that's cap. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not cap. Because in all actuality, we actually heard the same thing from Gary Russell when that whole contract went down. And they was negotiating and it was about terms. And speaking of terms, I brought up in a previous video that they wanted terms on Gary Russell. And Gary Russell was like, no, I just want to go over here. I want to make some money. I want $2 million, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I want, that's what I want. Even Steven, you know what I'm saying? Let's call it quits. But they wanted terms. And Gary was like, no. So then they blamed that on as to why the fight didn't happen. But then turn around when Bob Arum, you know what I'm saying? He basically made it known that he's not giving T.O. to Devin. And he wanted some terms, like come over here and fight. But when it came down to it, was like the money wasn't right. And then it was these extra terms. And then you hear T.O. and all them negotiations and all them back and forth and all that banter that they were having, what I'm saying, competitive banter. He had also talked to something about pricing somebody out. And so you got to kind of look at like, okay, well, in a sense, his pops, meaning Devin, did a great job, a masterful job in landing the contract and getting a deal and actually getting his young son, very wealthy at a young age. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty much killing the game money-wise. But what it does to the competition and what he's able to do, it kind of like puts it into a little tricky spot to where Devin's getting paid all this money, they can't really afford to pay for anybody else. And we see a history. I'll get into Eddie in a second. So that's the first thing he spoke about, pricing somebody out. So I didn't see any fallacy in that. So was he a dummy in that aspect? No. That was the reality. You can't can't be getting all this money and you making sure that your bag's straight, but then you don't have any to pay the other fighters. The other one is what he says in this clip.
I'm gonna tell you like this, Sean. I'll fight you right now. I'll fight you right now, but I want $100 million. You think somebody's gonna put that shit up? You think somebody's gonna put up $100 million?
No, hell no, not for me.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. In the same situation right here, he's asking for $8 million, $5 million. Like, he ain't gonna fucking get that shit. Motherfucker can't even fill up a fucking seat. So you know what? You're really gonna waste my fucking time. I'd rather go after the big fish because at least Tank's a real champ.
The perception of that belt. I mean, is there a mystery as to why nobody really wants to fight for that belt? It's almost like the ketchup bottle. You know how when you get low and some people still do that thing where they add a little bit of water to it. You know, it's still ketchup, but that belt is a little bit watered down. And why do you say that? It's much like a house. The value of something is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. So the value of that belt is only worth what somebody is actually willing to give credence to. And right now, they're not really even giving any credence to that belt. And I bring this up all the time where when it came down to it, I want to see where somebody actually can show me where Devin actually became the mandatory to Loma. I know he was right next up to bat, but it's this big misconception floating around all the time that he became the mandatory. And he really didn't. And then what did Loma do? Loma actually decided to go unified instead of actually defending his belt against Devin. And Suleiman basically made a decision to go ahead and give this guy a belt almost like a consolation prize, because what really happened was Loma was going to go fight T.O. for Undisputed. Every so often I got to reiterate it because that's my stance. You can agree or disagree, but I also did a video about the myth that there's too many belts in boxing. And I was being sarcastic, but what's happening now, they starting to eliminate all these belts. Why? You can't say it's too many belts in boxing, but then you accept a fifth belt. If you want to include the ring, that's a sixth belt. So 6 major belts. So you can't really say that that belt really holds any weight. Why? Because if it really did, people would be beating down the door. You actually have to become the belt. And then also, in this next clip,
I'm gonna tell you what it really is. Haney needs us. Fucking Eddie don't want to pay him. He broke as fuck, and they don't want to fucking. They don't want to pay what the fuck that he's asking because he's not worth that. And that's what it is. They need me. I sell fucking fights. He don't. That's what it is.
There you go. Roelly talking about Eddie. Eddie don't have the money to pay. So you need dance partners. And he's basically saying that, you know, Devin need a dance partner. There's only so many different ways that you can actually go about making fights. And one of them is I think that this whole nobody wanted to fight me and boogeyman and all this overhype, I think that that's actually kind of giving the whole, it makes negotiation stale. Because sometimes it comes across as borderline disrespectful because, in all honesty, what stadiums are you packing?
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
You know, you got a belt to become champion, and then after that, you fought your next 2 step-up fights. And with Gamboa, his last fight before that, he got knocked from pillar to post. Tank pretty much did whatever the hell he wanted to do with him. Devin never knocked him down. Then we go to Linares, and I could pull up the guy's name, but Linares just got dropped, and I mean, it was just like you're not actually lighting up the whole world. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of potential, but you're not really like that. You're not the how Floyd Mayweather was. You got to get in the bigger bags faster than Floyd. But as far as in the ring to garner that kind of attention and praise and fighting on the app and being conjoined with Eddie, who has a history with Canelo, has a history with Andre, and it wasn't until they came back to the table and agreed to actually have a co-promotional deal that the Plant and Ginger deal went through. So what are we really talking about? The business of boxing.
I hear a lot of people saying they're ducking Devin Haney. Devin Haney's being ducked. Do you call it being ducked, or do you call it a business model? Is it a duck? Is Devin Haney the lone example that this has happened to? No, it's not. Boxing has historically done this. And I think fans and fighters got to understand this. Either you're going to stand up and fight or you're going to wait to get picked. It's that simple. And that's why I will stand by and I advocated for and I did my best to provide freedom to the fighters, and I'm going to call it freedom. Devin Haney and Gary Russell, if they could have got that fight off and the fans could have supported that fight, it would have put a crack in the business of boxing. Imagine they would have made $1 million a piece off of that fight. You know, it would have changed the business of boxing, but everybody's waiting on, no matter what we say, Bob Arum is this, Eddie Hearn is that, Al Heyman is this. Fighters are still waiting for them to put up the money.
A shout out to Barbershop, Fred, you know what I'm saying? I know sometimes, I comment on this stuff because some things I don't agree with. I'm like 80-20 with him as well, you know what I'm saying? But it's a good video. You need to go check it out. It's on Barbershop Conversation, and he's breaking it down. It's like a 12-minute video, but he spoke so many jewels that I had to pull a couple snippets from it just to actually reiterate my point. But first I wanna hear Eddie and what he had to say about this whole Jojo Diaz thing.
I think Jojo Diaz is certainly not ducking Devin Haney, but he's looking at it and saying, Ryan Garcia wants to fight me. I'm mandated to Devin Haney. Let me see what the offers are. And let me decide what I think the easier fight.
So the truth is, he's not really being ducked. But then when you hear about it, it's like, yeah, that might be Eddie's business demeanor, but he sounded real kind of casual. It's like when you want somebody to actually get a fight, yeah, you want them to actually, how to negotiate and, how to maneuver and how to make the other party feel welcome. But it sounded a little casual to me. Wasn't looking like, it's going to be the end of the world if we don't get a fight. And what I'm actually starting to see is that it always kind of seemed like that game musical chairs. When the music stopped, and everybody got a seat. Well, in this case, when the music stopped, everybody have a dance partner. And then Dev comes along, and then all of a sudden he has to fight, but he's never really pulling the trigger. Because, right, the smack talk with Loma, with Linares already on deck, going into the week of the fight, he was talking smack. Right after that, when Tank and Loma had already finished fighting, they were already free and clear. Neither one of them deals got done. How? And then I was saying, okay, well, get you a Nakatani. Loma snatched him. We'll get you a Comey. Now Loma get ready to fight Comey. So it's like, you can say you want to fight, make all these fights. And this whole I'm a boss thing, Fred put it best.
If you're waiting for a fight date, you're an employee. I don't care who's your promotional company. You're an employee. Simple. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee, but you can't come out and say, hey, I'm a boss, and you're still waiting for Al Heyman to give you a fight date. You're still waiting for Bob Arum to give you a fight date.
This whole I'm a boss thing, you gotta stop it. Because the reality, the perception versus reality is that when you're independent and you're not, people are not beating down the door and you can't post that you got a fight going on and it's selling out in hours or minutes or whatever, like some of these other fighters that, you know, that are filling and packing arenas, even pay-per-view. You know, if you were doing that, then you can fully embrace that whole thing. But until, like Fred said, I mean, if you're subject to somebody else making a fight date and approving your dance partner, then are you really a boss? Are you really a boss? So this whole misnomer that nobody wants to fight and, you know, everybody's ducking you the whole 135. No, because time reveals. It's just like when Dev was going back and forth with Mikey and saying, yeah, and I think Mikey's mom had just died when that news came out that Devin wanted to fight him. But then on the Boxing Voice, Bill came out and said they never wanted the Mikey fight. This was 8 months later. So a lot of things are coming to light after so much time goes on, and then you actually see the timeline of events, and in real time, it would sound like you're hating if you say, no, that's not true. No, it's more to that story. No, it's the business of boxing. Ain't that right, Fred? It's the business of boxing. So for me, I'm starting to hear grumblings that Tank is actually going to go ahead and fight Rolly. And I want to do a whole nother video about Tank as well. You know what I'm saying? But I need some more things to come out, and I need, before I just go making a video about it, I need to get some more facts about this. But I don't want to see Tank versus Rolly. I don't. Because I'm actually, outside of T.O. and Josh Taylor, or Mikey, or Regis, outside of them four, it's nobody I really want to see Tank fight right now. And if the boxing guys would bless us with him versus Mr. Gary Russell, I mean, that's 5. Those are only 5 people I want to see. Because I put Tank on another level than them other guys. So if it's not starting to be geared more towards legacy-based, some entertainment, but then with some legacy, you know what I'm saying, solely based. Legacy being the steak, and then the entertainment factor being the mashed potatoes and the mac and cheese and the green beans. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to see that. I think that it would be a good test for Devin to actually fight Rolly. Why? Because you have the master boxer, which, I mean, he's a good boxer. I would say Devin is a good boxer. He's not great. He has a lot of potential against the guy who's only perceived as having a puncher's chance. But a lot of times when people have power, that actually neutralizes what somebody's able to do. And I'm not saying it would be like Nakatilla and Shakur. Shakur was able to knock him down. So I actually value that fight a little bit more, but I think it would kind of be the same because it has been shown that Devin can get touched. And if he get touched, is he going to hold? How is he going to overcome it if he know? And then Rolly got a little edge to him. Rolly might make it a little scrap. Rolly might, you know what I'm saying? Rolly, he's a wild card. And so that's just an entertaining recipe. I think Tank passes that Rolly test very easily, but I'm not taking anything away from Rolly, and I'm not taking anything away from Dev. I just think that if Rolly's going to have a competitor, I just think that it needs to be real, where Rolly need to get the money that he's looking to get. And they need to start, like, somehow, I mean, if you got a promotional company, co-promotional company, however you want to look at it, you know, we got to start seeing the dance partners that we want to see. You know, the people that we want to see you fight. I mean, Tank feeling the same pressure. Where it's like, now, okay, now, like, training wheels off. Like, let's go. Like, you know, we want to see fighters we want to see you get in the ring with somebody that actually has a chance. You know, now I'm starting to gauge fights to where it's like, if you've never really been in a fight that was considered a true 50-50 fight, or that you had any chance of losing, I'm starting to, like, become turned off to it. I don't get as hype about fights anymore, and I love boxing. But I'll leave it with this last clip, you know what I'm saying, from Barbershop. And basically, he was basically saying it's the business of boxing. And the same thing that was happening to Rigo could happen to Devin. So I think we need to stop all the politics. We need to stop marinating. And we need to start seeing that the business of boxing is stopping a lot of these fights. It's not that it's not that some of these fighters, it's only a couple boogeymans. And I've given them their just dues in their video, but I wanted to make this about Roelly and Devin and how I would like to see that fight. Especially since it's looking like JoJo is leaning towards Ryan. Ryan is going to be food for any of them guys, to be honest. I just don't think that mentally, I don't think that he doesn't have it. And then with the antics with the Tank thing, even though I didn't really want to see Tank fight him, I didn't. You know, I was going to watch it, but I didn't want to see him like, oh, yeah, we getting that fight. I didn't want to see that. So let's just look at the business of boxing. We got to stop discounting Rolly because, like that commercial said, you can learn a lot from a dummy, even though Rolly is not a dummy. He actually spoke a lot of truth and a lot of wisdom in what he's saying. But if you're a fanboy, you're just going to discount and say, oh, no, he's talking about money ain't worth nothing, but then he's saying he want this. It's like, no. Well, just like JoJo and just like Eddie said, he don't look at it like he's ducking. He's going to weigh his options. And if Ryan Garcia and them is bringing a bigger bag than Devin and them, and you're not going to gain a watered-down belt, because, I mean, to be honest, if that belt was legit, everybody and their mom be trying to fight for it. You know what I'm saying? Grandma be up there getting Vaselined up, saying, hey, I want some smoke with that. But they don't perceive that belt as being what it is. And that's just the truth of the matter. So hopefully we can see this fight. That's my take on it. Those are my sources. Hopefully I paid enough homage to the sources that I used. That's it. That's all. Body work.
I root for the fighters, man, and this ain't no just black thing. You guys saw what they did to Regan Dial. You don't think that's gonna be Devin Haney?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?
So, I see we got a lot of comments there. I'm trying to tell you, I've been keeping it that way the whole time, man. I played that clip. I had to go back to what Roelly was saying. Roelly was basically saying, look, man, David and them, they know they need a name. The reason why the title of this video is Duck Hunting for Dummies is because I want Subriel Matias to know what he's actually up against when he's actually hunting somebody like Devin Haney. You know, he has a vicious, I call it the beehive. Just like Beyonce has a beehive, Devin Haney has a beehive. That's really real. Him and Eddie been making these moves. They've been picking these people. I've been analyzing everything straight down the middle. You heard my sentiments on Tank back then. This was September of 2021. Somebody pointed out where I was lying, where I faltered, where I slipped off, where I rolled off, and what I was actually saying. And Roelly was on to something. He needs a name. I heard me and Ghost was chit-chatting earlier. Ghost hit me up. He said, hold on, man. He was like, he's talking about Adrian Broner. He was like, how is he talking about Adrian Broner? He's like, man, this dude really running. I said, hey, I got a live coming up. I'm all over it. I was gonna do this the night before last, but I said, you know what? Sometimes, like I said, if I don't have anything good to say about boxing, I'm not gonna say anything at all. But then I also took the time to look at some of my competitors, listen to what they was actually saying, watching, learning, waiting. Boxing was stale. Nobody was talking about boxing in the right light, man. Everybody talking about some slash novelty boxing. They talking about some Jake Paul stuff. They talk about Ngannou and AJ. Even though I think Ngannou and AJ and that whole undercard, I do think there's some good elements and everything. But when it comes down to the fights at hand, like the major ones, the fact that Devin Haney, I seen somebody put up a picture. I seen a major platform put up a picture. In the very front, it had Tank Davis and Frank Martin. But it was asking about replacements for Devin Haney. They had Adrian Broner. They had who they have up there? Adrian Broner. Let me see. I gotta actually look at it. I'm not even gonna shoot from the hip. That's my safety mechanism, y'all. That keep me honest. I can't shoot from the hip. I just can't do it. They had Adrian Broner, Ryan Garcia. I forgot who else. None of them was Subriel Matias. None of them was Subriel Matias. Why? Because now it's all about big names or perceivable names. It was never about legacy. So all that stuff about how I'm a different breed, I'll fight Subriel, all of that stuff, that's, you know what I'm saying? And whatever Eddie told him to make him sign on that dotted line, I'm starting to really question as to whether or not he really should have signed on that dotted line. I'm just being honest. Because even in that replacement, when they was looking up replacements, Barbosa name wasn't even his face, his image, or his name wasn't even on it. But they'll put Tank Davis' face along with Frank Martin. I'm talking about, excuse me, when you're talking about overlays, you're talking about the one in the very front. The overlay that was in the very front was Tank Davis and Frank Martin. And this was to sell who should be the replacement for Devin Haney in this Ryan Garcia fight. The fact that we even entertaining the fact that it might be a replacement, one, lets us know that there's no value in this fight with him and Ryan Garcia. Why? Because Devin Haney in camp devalued that fight back when Ryan was about to fight Tank Davis. He can't be an exhibition fight when he fought Tank Davis, an underwear model, an Instagram sensation when he fought Tank Davis, but now he's supposed to be the best option in the world. And every chance that I looked at when I was looking at the matchups and the options for a Devin Haney, didn't even include Sandor Martin. There was never any inclination, any kind of, and I even heard on the show today that Frank Martin would be a cherry pick for Tank Davis, even though they could acknowledge that Raul Venezuela would be a lesser option than Frank Martin, but Frank Martin would be a cherry pick. And the reason why is because nothing about it would be legacy. Well, he wouldn't be trying to unify. He wouldn't be trying to do this. I'm like, these very same people giving voice to these very same points never pointed out that the fact that Devin Haney chose Ryan Garcia is nothing more than a voluntary title defense with a unification that you turned down with Subriel Matias, mandatory that you turned down with Sandor Martin, making them take step aside money for the second time. No Teofimo Lopez. Like, what are we really talking about? I want Subriel to know what he's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? When he's duck hunting, man. Like, when you're hunting for somebody like this skill with a D-Hob, the way that they have people that, like, I'm talking about, like, relentless. There's no ending. They have no walls. I think a lot of them have their tonsils removed. There's no stopping these guys for Devin Haney. They will go all out. It's 7:57 when I'm starting to look, but it's a lot of comments, man. Just a lot of comments, man. But I be hearing people regurgitate my stuff, man. I heard this dude, man, regurgitate my stuff on a major platform. I'm like, he just gonna get up there and act like he came up with that, man. Like, man. Smoke session. Yo, what it do? Salute, Smoke. Frankie Estrada, let's talk boxing. Salute, Frankie. Ghost in the building. Salute, chat. Evening, my bro. Champion Sports Boxing. Salute, Bodywork in chat. What's good, my brother? Bodywork Boxing in the building. Jose Rodriguez. Salute. Champion Sports Boxing. What's up? What's up? We just, hey, Puerto Rican Power in the builder saying salute everyone. Bubs Boxing. Salute. Subscribe to Bubs Boxing. He putting in that work. Bringing a touch of comedy to boxing. Salute to Pop Smoke too. Salute to his channel, man. Michelle Rivera turned down 3 times the money of what they've earned so far in any fight of his career to not fight Matias. Also, at this point, he ain't getting 30 fights. Dude are scared for real. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that, man. Because I was seeing when Michelle Rivera's father was going off, I had got it translated. I started watching interviews. I started chit-chatting with my man to make sure that I was interpreting everything right. And yeah, he went off. And then I seen the interview where Matias said that they sent that man an offer, man. So nowadays, man, these politics, and if you don't really know, man, they will misguide you, man. The loudest voices in boxing will lead you astray, man. Do not get led off of a ledge, you know what I'm saying, off of a bridge, you know what I'm saying, or worse. You know what I'm saying? Stick with Bodywork Boxing, even though we're just an alternative to what everybody else is saying. We don't have to be first. We don't have to be sensational. We just come with them cold, hard facts. And I'm showing you as I go back in the archives, like I've been showing and calling it out in real time. You know what I'm saying? In real time. Lies sell more than truth. Man, you ain't never lied, champ. He said facts. Negrassi, salute to the chat. Facts, body work. Facts, champ. Salute, chat. Coquille in the building. Salute. Subscribe to Coquille, man. I didn't know Coquille had a channel, man. I was perusing along, found out that Coquille had a channel. Subscribe to Coquille, man. Heriberto Alvarado, salute, man. Hit the bottom like. Yes, hit the like button, y'all. He say body work. Unknown. Who fight me? Come get my belt. Y'all chicken. Subriel, LOL. Yeah, man. Jose Rodriguez, man, we are the 300. That's what we are, man. Facts, Jose. Hey, that's what we are, man. Mafio Lopez don't have a scheduled fight. Why he not calling Matias? LOL. They don't want that smoke. The lie detector, man. I was calling him La Biblioteca, man. Y'all gotta tell me, man. Como se dice la detector en español, por favor? Como se dice? Unknown, and Matias calling him out in his conference. Sub, bro. I'm starting to call him Sub-Zero, man. The man cold, man. He got everything on froze, man. You know what I'm saying? Facts, Ghost. Roelly was speaking facts. Nancy Santiago, salute. Never seen your name before, but salute. Thank you. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? Bloodshot in the building. What's good, body work? Salute, Bloodshot. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back. Matias needs to buy a front seat ticket to Roelly and Haney fight and step into the ring calling them out. I don't even think that fight gonna happen. Body work with the receipts. I gotta keep the receipts because people be coming up talking about they were the first and they were ever. It's like a lot of people go back in my archives and come up with stuff and start speaking this. And I'm like, hold on, man. Why are you out here acting like you the first one that said these things? You know what I'm saying? And they get paid. They get super chats, super thanks, super likes. You know what I'm saying? People, oh man, nobody put it down like you. I'm like, man, they are biting. But I'm like, hey, man, if you can sleep at night, that's how you are. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it, man. I'm not going to take credit for nothing. I give credit where credit is due. You an Eagles fan? I knew I fuck with you for a reason. LOL. PA stand up. Yeah, man, I've been an Eagles fan since the 6th grade. I still got love for the Redskins, but I'm an Eagles fan through and through. So if the Skins ain't playing the Eagles, I kind of like the Skins, but I'm an Eagles fan. It's tatted. You know what I'm saying? I'm ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Knucklehead, salute the coward Teofimo calling out Matias to fight in Honduras. At this point, man, if I was Subriel, I'd go over there and knock his ass out in Honduras. Just don't drink the water, don't take nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would go over there and knock his ass out in Honduras. That's just me, though. Matias should take the fight. Unknown. That's why we think alike. He should just take it. And Knucklehead said, not in Honduras. Aaron Jones, my day one. Aaron Jones been one of my day one supporters. He been my day one supporter. Yo, salute Aaron Jones, man. I'm glad to see you still out here, man. Glad to hear that you safe. Hope that HVAC treating you right. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you back in the building, homie. I still got my day ones, man. I don't turn nobody away, man. I ain't fell out with nobody that's been around. For real. If they was true. You are the truth, my brother. I appreciate that, man. It feel good. He can beat Teofimo even in Antarctica. That's what I'm saying, man. Just take the fight, man. Go over. If he wanted in Honduras, he'll sign that contract. If that's what it take, you know what I'm saying? Only place the fight needs to take place is in Madison Square. I'll do that too. I'll come up there. I want to go to Puerto Rico, but I'll definitely drive. That's like that's for a truck driver like myself. That's like it's right up the street, man. Back when my truck, I'll just channel my inner truck driver. I'll zip right up the road. I'll go right up to Madison Square to see that. Trust me. I'm saying call their bluff. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Call their bluff. Yeah, unknown, but why would they go to Honduras for a mega fight? That would need a big place. He need a body. If he can slap Teofimo, put his ass on a highlight reel, you know what I'm saying? He need to do it. Exactly. Goes Teo is capping again. He might be. Teo might be capping, but I would call his bluff. Do it like the old days. Play in the soccer stadium. If I was Matias, call his bluff. Exactly. That's what we saying. Every time they make an offer, there's always some BS attached to it. LOL. Every time, man. They are the terms. I call them Devin the Terms Haney, man. I've been on it for a long time, y'all. Salute Anubis. What up, Bodywork? Hi, everyone. Yeah, man. I've been calling it for a long time. If I was Matias, I'll tell him I'm the champ. Go by my rule. If you get a fish like Teo on the line right now, if you can get him to put that John Hancock down on that dotted line, man, get him to sign up. Unknown, they're both champs. They need to sit and negotiate. But yeah, Teo need to come out and play. Teofimo Lopez knows what makes sense. I don't see what the necessity is to go fight in Honduras right now for a championship fight. Only because it's slim pickings right now, though, Knucklehead. It's slim pickings. They can go some other time. Yeah, but it's slim pickings for Subriel, man. He just trying to stall. Facts. They don't want to fight after Matias knocks him out. Facts. Nah, Honduras wouldn't be good for the fight. You need a place like NYC where Teo got a following, and Puerto Rico can show up to support Matias. L30 Cruz. Salute Bodyworks. Salute to the chat. Salute L30 Cruz. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Teo Matias should be at Madison Square Garden. That would be a huge, big room. Facts. After all, Roelly ain't no dummy. You see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? It's only right. Now y'all see where Roelly done played his part to where he's at right now. Damn, Roelly was on point back then. See what I'm saying? June and MSG. I'm trying to tell y'all. I think Roelly has enough power to hurt Pitbull. I think the fight 50-50. It's 50-50 depending on if Roelly gonna use his distance. If he negate the distance, man, Pitbull gonna just swing wild. And what Roelly will have to be concise and straight down the middle. I don't know if Roelly had the capability of doing that. He switched trainers. He's no longer with Bullet. He went back to his amateur trainee. Roelly was speaking facts yet again. He's always been blunt. Yeah, Roelly ain't no dummy for real. Roelly be playing up to the cameras and, you know, with publicity, because he already know he can be a stunt man. He could be an actor. He can be on one of these reality shows. You know, Roelly can go with because he got a martial arts background, kick fighting or whatever. He can go do that. Unknown Pitbull, one of those dudes that can take an ass whooping before you put him out if he doesn't catch you first. Yeah, it's gonna be it's an interesting fight. I haven't really sat down and really analyzed it, but I agree. It's a 50-50 unknown. After what T.O. did to Roelly, I want Matias to make T.O. pay for his nonsense. Yeah, I do too. Ghost, he is for sure, but Roelly hits hard, so they've been saying, yeah. Roelly got that special people helmet on in the back of the short yellow bus type shrimp. I like Roelly. He's a decent fighter, definitely a strong kid. I thought he was beating Tank until he got careless. Agreed. Hey, body work. When was this recorded? LOL. A lot has changed. Lots have changed. That was in September of 2021, Johnny. Ain't much really changed. Some fights had taken place, because this is before, if you think about it, I was saying, I didn't really want to see Tank fight. I didn't really see but Tank fought Roelly, knocked him out. What else happened? Some things had changed to that point. Some things have changed, but just fights. But the stance of the Haneys hasn't changed one bit. I believe Nakatani and Comey at the time would have gave Devin everything he was looking for. Exactly. So when you look back at the history, at the point in time, I was listening to the great Andre Ward earlier today, and he did an interview in a Breakfast Club. He said, man, when you look at Canelo, he was saying, man, when I talk about Canelo, people say that I'm hating. He said, now me, I box, and I'm qualified to actually speak on these things. He said, but when I looked at the time and when he actually fought these guys, he was like, who were these guys when they actually fought them? So when you look at Devin Haney, it's like he didn't fight Fortuna. At the point in time when he should have fought Fortuna, Fortuna was more than a formidable opponent. There was no easy win for Devin Haney at that point in time. But conveniently, he had a shoulder injury. And now all these guys, like when you talk about Shakur, Devin, and Tank, Devin Haney is the only one that's been out for a surgery. Shakur and Tank missed weight. They both were on a scale. They both missed weight on a scale. So they have that. Devin don't ever have missing weight, even though they started doing that ceremonial stuff. And they say that he really did miss weight. But formally, Devin has never missed weight. He's never missed weight. But that's another aspect of Devin Haney nobody ever talks about. He had a surgery for a shoulder. When he should have fought Fortuna. And if you think about it, he didn't fight Fortuna. He wanted to come back fighting this dude. I think it was a dude, Santiago. He waited for Fortuna and Jojo Diaz to fight. And after Jojo Diaz beat him, he fought Jojo Diaz, moving up. Remember that. And Fortuna, when Fortuna fought Ryan, that wasn't even at a point in time when Fortuna was really in his tip-top shape either. He was overweight, not out of shape. I believe Nakatani and Comey. That at that point in time, they kept saying, "What man, Comey? Who want to fight Comey?" It's like, but they give Teofimo Lopez no credit for going over there and knocking out Comey on Heisman night, and I think in like the second or third round, spiked his ass. That's the only thing that got him in the conversation with Lomachenko. But they want to say but they'll tell you historically, they'll tell you that Lomachenko dug Devin Haney. Well, no, Lomachenko was looking at everybody like, look, if you don't got a belt or something that I want that's going to help me get undisputed, you're not on my radar. So Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney wasn't on Lomachenko's radar. Only reason why Teofimo Lopez got on the radar because they did that tournament. Teofimo Lopez got the winner of that tournament was not going to get Lomachenko. So him and his father pulled out. He said, we're going to go get something that Lomachenko wants. What was that? The IBF off of Richard Comey. Soon as he spiked Richard Comey, he got the IBF off of Richard Comey. That's when Lomachenko came out and was like, welcome to my club. That's the only way he got to fight with Lomachenko. Because before that, even though Devin Haney, they'll tell you Devin Haney was mandatory for Lomachenko all the time. That was not the case. He was in line to get it, but nothing had been mandated. Suleiman had said it was a period of 2 weeks when they could have filed paperwork and got a letter sent. They chose to get a letter sent to actually get to defend that belt. And that's when they got that guy Santiago from Puerto Rico, who was actually piecing Devin up in the first 2-3 rounds before Devin figured it out. That's the history. So it was really never a time when Lomachenko ducked them. He was looking at Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney as he should, like nothing, because they didn't have anything that they wanted to offer. All Devin Haney represented was a title defense. All Teofimo Lopez represented was a title defense. That was until Teofimo Lopez went and got that IBF. That's history. You can hate Teofimo, you can love Devin Haney. History is history. The truth is the truth is the truth. Bodywork been on it. Shaking my head. This whole Lil Haney shit ain't age well. LOL. You can't piss on people's head and tell them it's raining like Bill Haney said. Exactly. Exactly. And remember, this all this downward spiral of Ryan Garcia, it all started because Devin Haney got disrespectful saying that man was on that cocaine and trashing him just like he do everything else. Ryan Garcia and them pulled that whole card and started taking it to the max. Now, ticket sales are plummeting. Or that's what's being reported. You know what I'm saying? I believe Haney would struggle against pure pressure fighters like Matthias Boots, who can handle it, and even Gary Russell. And it's a history with Gary Russell. I did a flashback Friday with him and Gary Russell. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff that Haney was talking with Gary Russell when he was talking about fighting. Because remember, the energy was different. Remember, Devin Haney was pursuing Gary Russell Jr., who fought at 126. He was the longest reigning champ. 6 years, 352 days at 126 pounds. Defended all his mandatories. Devin Haney was chomping down, running down, interrupting the business between Gary Russell, since Gary Russell had punched Bud in the face, getting in their business, asking for that fight. And Gary Russell was like, man, it ain't even about you, but since you want something, give me a cool $2 million. That all went sideways. Bill trumped that up, did all kind of stuff, slandered Gary Russell. That was like the first major slander that he did, where he really did like detrimental to somebody's reputation. Gary Russell Jr. was the first one he really slandered. He took shots at some other people, but that was the first one he effectively slandered, like with some real affection, because everybody online started speaking up against Gary Russell and them after that. He was the longest reigning champion. Everybody act like Gary Russell Jr. wasn't one of the most, if not the most duck boxer when he was active at his time. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. Haney, smoke and mirrors, shaking my head. Exactly. Ishmael Quinones. Salute. I think so, Ghost. Once he gets hit, he gonna You saying my audio low? Bro, the audio low? Is the audio low? Let me get my audio right. Yo. And I checked my audio before I even started. I don't know how that happened. Hopefully the audio better now. Man. I hope the whole beginning was loud enough. Man, I apologize. But I checked it before I started. But you know those forces, Jason Jimenez, they're saying Subriel fought nobody. But who else made 5 consecutive fighters, undefeated contenders, quit? By the way, if he hasn't fought anyone, then it shouldn't be an issue for the best at 140. That's why you gotta let him talk, Jason. That's why you gotta let them talk sometimes, man, because they run themselves into a trap. You know what I'm saying? They contradict themselves, man. Matias defeated the most undefeated fighters at 140. His first 20 opponents were 429 to 84. Yeah, you always do that body work with them statistics, Koki. Not gonna lie, this is what I've been saying. LOL, boxing got born all around. Yeah, man, it was just like I was sitting around watching and waiting. I said, man, well, what can I do? What can I put out there? It's nothing out there, brother. Also, theater fighters Subriel made quit were favored to win. Matias faced many mandatories and stopped them. Look like you are too far from the microphone. I think I changed my value. Datashed was ranked number 2 in the IBF before he fought Matias. Matias was number 11. Any opponents 114 and 144. So IDK, who had the easy opponents? LOL. That's facts. They don't want to look at that. I'm not gonna lie. I used to think it was the business of boxing, but it's definitely the fighters. They just lied to the fans talking about legacy. Exactly. That's it, man. That's it. That's not him talking live. It's a recording. He's on the side screen. Imagine Matias saying that at the end of the fight, are you not entertained? Yeah. Eddie, Devin, and Bill used to wait for Tank to announce his fight and then schedule Devin to fight and claim duck. It was like a revolving door. I got videos saying that too. Man. I'm definitely watching the pay-per-view this weekend. Good fights. I got Francis by KO. Facts, body work. Eddie, instead of telling T.O., please fight Matias, that will put a smile on my face. He should be saying that to Devin. Exactly. Bro, Devin Haney told the world he want to fight Mario Barrios at 147. He said his name first. That's what we were saying. That's why I said, man. That's why I did the video saying never, man. We ain't never gonna get Devin against Subriel Matias. None of them guys. He wants to go and fight Barrios. That's what I'll be saying. Like you. So in real time, remember when Tank fought Barrios? He was nothing. He was this. It was all these other things. I'm telling you, man, they do the same patterns, man, and it still works because the loudest voice in boxing, they get paid stupid money to put this stuff out there and have everybody echoing it and defending it and sounding off about it. And the man been moving funny this whole time, man. Every single angle, every single flank, he been moving funny. I don't see any of them fight Matias anytime soon. Maybe Russell would. He the only one I think would, man. Yo, you broke shit down to the T. Exactly. That's what I do. Devin Haney and Michelle Rivera don't want the Matias body work. Thanks, body work. El Detector de Mentiras. That's the lie detector. Detector de Mentiras. Get the likes up. Support the brother. It's free. Yeah, salute. Hit that like button. Leo Cruz said, you the lie detector. What's good, body work? Thank you for bigging up big Puerto Rican soon-to-be superstar Samuel Arnal. No problem. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Like always. We're gonna keep on it, man. We're gonna keep the pressure where it need to be. Body work. What you think about Tyson versus Jake Paul? Personally not interested. Not even on my radar, man. That's that novelty boxing stuff, man. What you doing is good. Subriel Matias really should already be the biggest fight at 140. Jake Paul a disgrace. They're gonna put something on the contract for Mike not to knock his head off his shoulders. Not interested either. What I don't want, I starve. What I want, I feed. Good promoter, not so good of a boxer. Carlos Garcia, all coward Phil Subriel Matias, real champ, bodywork boxing. Absolutely, Carlos. Fierce clown, Fierce Subriel Matias, coward Matias, the best 140. That's not good promotion. Who's going to pay for a fight when someone doesn't seem fit to fight? Exactly. So either way, the fight is doomed or the equity in the fight has been robbed, right? So if you move forward, even if this fight takes place forward now, what kind of credit you going to get? What kind of credit do you get when your next replacement? There's no thoughts of a Sandro Martin. There's no talks of a Subriel Matias. There's no talk of a Teofimo Lopez. There's no talk of the winner of Roelly and Pitbull Cruz. You're saying Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios ain't at the top, but the same thing Tank got knocked for because I think Regis was at the top when Tank fought Barrios, and Regis was upset that Barrios chose Tank and not him. You know what I'm saying? So he said something about Tank, but the same thing Tank got knocked for fighting the Mario Barrios when he went to 140. Nobody's giving them slack for coming up and fighting Regis, even though they thought he was number one. Matias is right there. he gonna maneuver all around them, go straight to 47 and get a Barrios. But it's a sin to ask him to fight Boots or Bud, and Bud ain't moved to 54 yet. Walking Hall of Famer, man. I said we gotta start pinning them down. We gotta start setting these rules. This is duck hunting for dummies, man. You gotta know what kind of species you're dealing with. You gotta know what kind of moves they got, how they move, what they eat, you know what I'm saying, what they like. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that when you duck hunting. Hey, Body Work, do you remember the fights that made Floyd Mayweather Jr. consider all-time great? I do. Corrales and Hatton and Cotto. This reminds me of the Dream. He's always got Loma and Linares and Gamboa and Cambosis Jr. He got names, but when you really break down the circumstances behind it, see, we'll play a lot of games because it's a game that a major show play where they'll say, all right, in order for you to be a Hall of Famer, you got to name 2 legendary fighters that's on your, you know, in your background or on your resume. So when you go down to every boxer, like most of them, a lot of them have one, but then the other one will be questionable. And then people will discount or count that fighter or that individual based on how they like that fighter. And that happens all the time. So yes, it looks real good to be like, oh man, I fought Linares, and then I fought, who did he fight out the Linares? I fought Linares, then I fought Jojo Diaz, then I fought what was it? Cambosis, then Loma, then Regis. That sound real good, but at the point in time when you fought him like Linares got stopped before and after Devin Haney. The guy that just fought 2 weekends ago, Cesar Pablicano, the one who fought, he went up against that guy Giasav from across the pond. That guy Cesar Pablicano stopped. He basically stopped stopped Linares right before Devin Haney fought him. Tank Davis stopped Gamboa, albeit it was in a final round. It was in a, I think it was in a, was it in the 12? 11 for 12. He stopped him all the way in the 12th, but he tore his Achilles in like the second round, toyed around with his food. Devin Haney never knocked him down. We don't consider that when he's fighting these guys, but like Andre Ward said, don't take me, don't knock me. Andre Ward said, I'm considered a hater when I judge Canelo Alvarez because I always bring up when and the circumstances around when he fought these guys. Yes, he has a name on a resume, but when and like under what circumstances are he fighting these guys? Anybody can do that. That's why they don't want to rematch. They didn't want to rematch with Loma. But the same pressure that people gave Teofimo Lopez for not wanting to give Lomachenko a rematch, even though those scorecards was wider. People don't even want to look at scorecards when it comes down to that. Those scorecards was way wider than the scorecards when it came down to Devin Haney and Lomachenko. But when you ask Lomachenko for him to rematch Lomachenko, it's like, oh man, you're just hating. But those same people were begging and pleading for Tank Davis to rematch Isaac Pitbull Cruz when the scorecard was a lot wider than what they, you know what I'm saying, than the fight with Lomachenko and Devin. Different stroke for different folks, all using facts, all triangle theories, but people tend to change and move those goalposts. For Devin Haney, I don't see why. I'm not going to do it. That's just me, though. No, it's good. Okay, so volume was good at that point. Really, the world is about to witness this man, No Mas Tias, take a body down at 147, maybe 147. Audio was good. Okay, audio was fine. Your audio is fine. When you played the old video was a little low. Okay, that was a little low. Okay, I think like Floyd Mayweather Jr. with Hatton the Dream would really box the ears off Matias. You can't believe that. You can't believe that, Johnny. You can't believe that. I'm about to put the link out, Johnny, man. You got to get up here and explain that. Because if it was that easy, he's so much legacy, man. You know how much stock his stock would go up if he really just came in there and boxed Matias' ears off. So I'm gonna put the link out. I hope you get up here and explain it. I think if he keep it up less than 6 years, he wiped the map clean. I think so too. Right now, I think so too, Champion Sports Boxing. I think so too. Haney fights the easiest opponents. We aren't stupid. We already know that. It's politics as usual. Hey, Champion. Yeah. Yo, I gotta go. Salute, chat. I'm gonna watch again. All right, Ghost. Salute, Ghost. Salute, Body Work. What we've been saying about Ryan versus Haney, I believe this fight won't happen. Ryan is taking crazy things. No joke, my brother. And I don't think he's joking. Haney should fight Matias instead of Broner. And retire. Hit that like button, y'all. We are going to keep that pressure. T.O., Mad, Devin, Matias should just go up and fight Boots. I think that's what they're trying to do, man. We are going to keep the pressure on T.O. and Devin. Put me to sleep. Haney. Hey, champ. You were sleeping during Loma. What about progress? Not this guy was extremely... Cambosis Jr. not that good. Only thing he did was beat T.O. Linares was old. Cambosis had lightning in the bottle against T.O., man. I think if they fight 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, I think T.O. beat Cambosis, man. It was a bad recipe. Pushback fights, whole bunch of other stuff. But I'm not going to make no excuse for T.O. I'm not going to take away from Cambosis' victory. But we can all kind of see that T.O., if he don't look at you like a op that's really up there, he's not going to prepare or have nothing really for you. And so we know that T.O. is kind of up and down. You got to have a big name for him to really be aroused. Carlos Garcia, all Coward Field, Subriel Matias, real champ, bodywork boxing. Salute, chat. Puerto Rican power in the building. Salute, bodywork boxing. Keeping it real, Subriel is in a tough situation. It feels crazy because nobody want to smoke like he those. I'll be a tragedy if he don't get those fights. Yeah, I'm like, man, we gotta start singing out to Eddie, man. We gotta start reaching out to some of the Latino channels. We gotta start listening out to some of these channels globally, and we gotta start saying, Eddie, man, you got this guy over here is looking like Andre, man. Like, what's going on, Eddie, man? Why'd you get my guy over there? Why'd you allow him to actually enter that? What was your plan? You got to have something. I mean, I know we got some time, but we in March now. He said he want to be back in there in June or July. You know what I'm saying? I think you would want to narrow down who might be on the plate and who's not. Cambosa's one hit wonder, nothing special. That's what I say, champ. That's exactly what I say. But that's the link, man. If you want to get up here and speak your piece, or let me know something that I don't know, man. But when you're dealing with this, man, you got to understand that, just like Roelly said back in the day, that video I played in the beginning, Roelly was basically saying that they understand that Devin Haney needs a name. Why you think he would come out and actually be calling for Adrian Broner right now? Adrian Broner, I remember a couple years ago, this Adrian Broner wasn't even to the extent that he is right now in activity. He wasn't even to this point. Adrian Broner was actually still boxing on a semi-regular basis, right? He said, man, I'm sick of these dudes trying to pick on Adrian Broner since he's long in the tooth and they know he ain't dedicated. Because this is when Conor Ben was trying to get Adrian Broner. He was on his heels. I think Devin Haney, they had mentioned it. They had floated out there that Adrian Broner had ducked him, but I got film audio where that was clearly a lie. You know what I'm saying? That was clearly a lie. Back when Devin was saying Mikey Garcia and them ducked him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the last 5 or 6 Subriel Matias undefeated ops could put it on them young boys at 147. Tough customers, but a lot of them retired. He actually retired them guys. Haney, Ryan, Teofimo is all soap operas. Matias, real action. Salute Mario, straight up. Straight up. If Subriel don't get the fights at 140, I would like to see him fight Stanionis. That would be fireworks. We're leaning towards that. He shouldn't have to do that, man. Just for people to, as soon as he move up, they're gonna be trying to get it on and popping at 40. We need to be putting pressure on Barbosa. We need to be putting pressure on Barbosa. We need to be asking Barbosa to reach down in his pantalones like he got some cojones and say, why are you willing to be a backup over there where you can go straight for a real title? Because either way, all roads lead to Subriel Matias, right? Because he ain't going to just lay down his belt. If you want to be undisputed or be anything, you're going to have to go see him anyway. Why not go straight for the belt now? Why go wait and play in this circus behind Ryan Garcia, who we don't know if the fight won't go through or not? You willing to stand in that line instead of going straight for Subriel right now? Actions speak way louder than words. We're not going to let, I might not have went in depth with gaslighting, but we did also say that when people try to change what reality is, and they try to, you know what I'm saying, assuage your conscience into thinking something else, to try to soothe you or make you think that something ain't going on that's really going on, outright lying, coercion, you know, heavy manipulation. Salute those body work, family and chat. Salute Arnaldo Nieves. Salute, man. You better watch out or I'll hit that link and put some game on you, body work. You know what I'm saying? Have right at it, Johnny. You know what I'm saying? Cookie Monster. Body work. Angelina. Devin is overrated. Man, you ain't never lied. You think Hitchens want that Matias smoke or he using that 10-pound IBF? It's only time will tell on that. I gotta side with him. I would have to side with him for now because he's the only one that's kind of been honest. He's kind of been honest, and he actually do have a formidable opponent. So he actually got food on the plane. He said this plan, he's going to go get food on this plane. It is a hard-hitting puncher. We just gotta wait and see if he double back. But I believe in Hitchens. That's still one of my guys. Salute body work. Salute. Hitchens would be lit against Matias. Yeah, I like that. I think that's closer to the ultimate boxer versus puncher. You know what I'm saying? Even though they saying Matias working on his defense, man. Oscar don't want Barbosa to fight Matias. Mario, I know, but he putting him in a position where he would really want him to fight Devin. though. That says a lot about Barbosa, y'all, because y'all can say, oh man, he got the resume, he's the more tenured. That's saying that Barbosa see food in Devin and Ryan. He don't see food or anything appetizing, you know what I'm saying, with a fight with Subriel Matias. That's all it really tells me. What's going on, you all? What up, body work? Salute PR Boxing. Salute. Crickets for Matias. That's what it is, man. It's like, is it not? It's not an odd time as a fan that really want the real smoke. They want you to talk about a guy that, yeah, not like Ngannou, but they want you to talk about a guy with a second fight over here. You know what I'm saying? Did exceptionally well against Tyson Fury, who may have underestimated him. They want you to talk about that fight and everything that's going on. They want you to talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. They want you to talk about Devin Haney and Ryan. It's like, and nobody want to keep it real. Like, the sport would die if we don't put a stake in this ground and keep running. You know what I'm saying? Keep running down the path of what's right, man. Because they'll try to gaslight you and tell you and make you feel like, oh man, look at this. Oh, you be deriding this, you be doing this. It's like, no. We put a stake in the ground and we're saying that this man looking like a real librarian. He looking like a lie detector test where everybody's saying I'm macho, because there's a lot of people. Think about all the people at 35 that say, oh man, I'll run down on T.O. Oh man, I'll go up there and get Ryan to work right now. Well, if you're willing to go from 35 to 40, and it's a man up there at 40 without a title, And I'm still wondering, I just didn't have the time, but with Shakur Stevenson having that WBC and Devin Haney being right above it, that WBC was the whole reason why Devin Haney was able to skip Jose Ramirez at the time, who Barbosa said they had an agreement. Remember that? That same WBC was the reason why he was able to go up and get Regis right away. So think about it. At the time when he was using some leverage with his belt for the WBO, he was going to use that to leapfrog Jose Ramirez. But when T.O. came back and said, nope, I'm not retired, he was like, reroute, I'm going for Regis. Well, how did he was actually able to get Regis? He was actually able to get Regis because he had the WBC. That's why they made Sandor Martin take the step aside. Well, who has the WBC right below him now? Shakur Stevenson. I don't know as far as since Shakur Stevenson fought for a vacant and acquired it, he might have to fight somebody or defend it since he got it on a vacant. But I believe the same thing. We got to go qualify that. I think since it was a vacant, we got to look up the rules for what Shakur got to go through since he got that WBC on a vacant. He could use the same thing to go get Devin. Devin is really in a tough spot. There's a lot of people that be saying a lot of this. They be doing a lot of this, but when it come down to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, not so much. Not so much. Not so much. Not so much. I know some of the Ryan problems are definitely real. I see you, DJ. Hold on one second. I know some of the definitely real, but he also might be trying to pull out. It's a package deal. Yeah, I like Hitchens because he honest. Do someone know in the corner of the world is Teofimo high? No cap. I'm gonna get to the rest of these comments. Let me see. I'm gonna let DJ up here.
Hello?
What up, DJ?
Hey, Bodywork. How's it going?
It's going good. What's happening?
Well, I appreciate you having me on your show. It's been a fire program as always. I just wanted to give you a few thoughts on these matters.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if history has proven anything in boxing, the ultimate boxer generally passes through the ultimate puncher. I can't help but think, you know, when Ricky Hatton was coming up, everybody was, after he beat Costa Zoo, he said in the ring, "Get me Floyd Mayweather," and Floyd stood up and said, that you better make that mother effing fight. You probably remember that because you get his ass over to Vegas, and then he walked him. And even when Corrales beat the other guy, which was a classic, I'm just trying to think, Corrales and Castillo. When he beat Castillo in like one of the top fights of all time, and Floyd, he went after Floyd again. Floyd knocked him out. I can't remember what round, but he just washed him. Because what happened? These guys that are massive punchers with tremendous pressure come at a skilled, trained, authentic boxer that is very disciplined and knows, Floyd said it himself, guys just come forward. Guy, what's he going to do? He's just going to come forward and put pressure on me. I got that all day. So when I look at guys like Hitchens and I look at the Dream and I just see their progression, their educated jabs and their footwork, and I see Matias, given undaunting pressure on his opponents with his hands down, might I add, his hands completely down. I just can't help but think, like, is it going to be the same scenario, or does he have something different these other pressure fighters, didn't have? What do you think?
Well, if you're okay, are you talking about Hitchens or you talking about Devin? Because I think you're talking about Hitchens, right?
I actually think both of them. I've earmarked them both to beat Matias, just based on those dynamic styles. But it could be either one. Okay. I think Devin edges Hitchens out just because his footwork little better, in my opinion. But both are similar, like boxer, mover, punch and not get punched styles.
But this is the thing. This is what I see. If we're going to have a conversation about Hitchens and Subriel, I would give Hitchens more of a chance than Devin.
Oh, really?
Against Subriel, as it relates to Subriel. Now, the reason why I would say Hitchens, I give him more of a shot is because I think he's a little more offensive than Devin Haney is. I think that Devin Haney is not really going to be able to score as many points as a lot of people think he is, because the dimensions of those guys are a lot closer. See, like when it comes down to Devin Haney, a lot of people got to realize that this man has always had the height, the reach, the size, and pretty much the foot speed. I think Loma might have had the better foot speed, but he's always had the advantage in dimensions. The only thing that really makes this fight with Ryan intrigue me is that this is the first time we're going to actually see him do this to somebody who don't have those dimensions, which means that when he's in range to hit his target is able to hit him. This will be the first time that we've seen him do that. So that's something that I don't think people really give him credit for. And also, anybody that's even offensive against somebody that can hit that hard, what little bit of offense they do have is going to taper down. We saw that with Shakur against De Los Santos, how Shakur, he can be offensive, but he transitions from offense to defense, you know what I'm saying, a lot easier than a lot of people. But at the same time, the big thing with Shakur is he can be very offensive when he's in his comfort zone. I don't think that Devin Haney is as offensive. He's used to punching down. A lot of people give him a lot of credit for what he did to Regis. I myself do too, because of the caliber of fighter that Regis was before, that matchup. I mean, we had to give Regis his credit, but we saw what could happen against Zorilla. In that sense, he still had the height, he still had the reach, he still had the foot speed. When those dimensions change, and when Devin get in range to throw his jab, he's in range to get hit as well. And he would have to make his living on the outside, but every time he go to get a point, it's like a point and run. So he'll either be perceived as getting dominated in ring generalship, his punch output won't be as much, and when he's in range, he can get hit. When he's most effective on the inside, which I think he is, I think he's most effective on the inside where he can get much range and maximize his leverage, that's when he's also his most vulnerable. And I think that's a factor that people don't really consider when they break down a fight with Devin. We haven't seen him against anybody where he don't have all these advantages. What do you think about that?
Kokui, do you want to weigh in?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Salute. Hey, DJ.
Hey.
Hey, Body Work.
What's going on, Koki?
I actually wanted to get that off my chest, honestly, because I was checking out Mill City, and there was a Haney fan. The Haney fan said, hey, that Matias fight for Haney is going to be easy for Haney because Haney has the jab, he has the footwork on the outside, and I wanted to call in. You know why? Because there's nobody giving a counter argument to what happens when Haney is tired by round 5, round 6. What's the game plan? Because I keep hearing the same game plan of, okay, footwork and jab, distance. Okay, we get it. We know Haney could win 5 rounds doing that. We know that. But what I'm saying is, can he do that for 12 rounds? Can he do that by the 6th round when Matias is going to the body? When Haney tries to clinch Matias? Matias knows how to wrestle in the clinch, and he knows the way he throws. He has like fly swatter. You ever had a fly swatter in the house?
Mm-hmm.
That's how Matias punched. He punched like there's a fly on him, and it's like you can't time that, because when you're training boxing, because I coach in the Bronx, right? And when I coach somebody and sparring, when you spar, you go at a certain pace because you want to time the punches, you want to time the pivots, you want to time what the guy is doing. So then, when you pick up the pace, you can push the time. So Matias has that time, and you can't really, I call it unconventional. So he's not going to throw a basic 1-2, You know what I'm saying? He's gonna throw like a uppercut, 2 jabs, and a right, and you're not training to defend that like that. So I think that's what makes him difficult. If you ever watched William Cepeda, he's kind of unpredictable with his combos. So it's like, Matias is not like a basic pressure fighter. It's very methodical, and I think Haney would have to find a way to hurt Matias in the body, because if you can't hurt him, he's gonna keep going. And to me, I think Haney has to keep working on that right hand. You ever see Haney throw the right hand to the body, and then when he brings it back, his head stays in the center line. It's right in the center line, and I'm like, what the hell? And I saw Linares throw that left hook. When Haney brought that right hand to the body, he was killing him to the body. But by the 10th round, Linares like, you know what? This guy's not returning his right hand back. So he went boom, left hand, hurt him. 10th round, 11th round, you see Haney hugging and then running, and then by the 12th, Haney was like, I don't want to fight this style. I don't want to fight this style anymore.
Right. It normally I see it by about the round 3 or round 4 is when it started changing. But to your point, whereas Devin's only success against Loma was actually going to his body, he did that earlier. The only thing is Devin would try to go. He has to go to Matias' body. That's because I'll be looking at how to try to defeat anyway, and how to try to defeat somebody like Matias. And I'm like, man, you got to be able to do some body work. Yeah. The only thing is with somebody like Devin, when you go to do your body work, since he's got to be on the inside, that's when he's most vulnerable. Right. And the thing is like, if you look at his reaction after he got hurt, now that was an attempt. You get hurt by Matias, you're not going to be. I've never seen. I got footage. I just didn't want to be like. I didn't want to be like petty. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think grown men should really be petty. But it's a scene where Devin Haney, literally, he walks up to him, he bends his legs, and then he wraps his arm around his waist without throwing no punches. I've never seen that in boxes. He walks to Linares, he squats down, and he wraps his arm around his waist, and the ref don't say anything. I'm like, that's going to happen about the 3rd or the 4th round when it comes to Matias. Yeah.
And Matias, he gets a little dirty in the clinch. He's going to definitely, Haney's going to be upset because, Haney likes a clean fight. And I think Matias is not going to give him a clean fight. I think on the clinch, Haney's going to do his job. And when he does that clinch, he wants to return back to the center of the ring, keep the distance, like kind of, reset again, right? So I think off that clinch, man, it's going to be problems. And if Haney could find a way to distance him for 12 rounds, listen, all the credit to Haney. But I'm going to say one more thing too. Win or lose, because I followed Haney since the amateur days. I was a Haney fan for like a long time. Win or lose, I respect Devin Haney for taking the fight, because that style you've seen in the past and many times in history, boxing history, that unconventional pressure fighter, getting to the boxer, getting to, the high IQ methodical boxing, you've seen it. It happened before, and Mayweather is special because he had that style with Maidana come at him, but Mayweather adjusted, Mayweather knew how to fight in the pocket, and he had, excellent timing. So that's why Mayweather's like, generational, because you just can't find that, and I think on the inside, Haney may struggle to find that timing with Matias, because Matias, he has very weird time. You can't time what he's throwing, because I feel like even himself, he don't even know what he's throwing. Like, he's just coming out with these random, like, they're tough combos, man. I'll do replays. I'm like, bro, he's hitting a guy with a shovel jab. A shovel jab is like when you bring it from the floor and all the way up. And that thing is like lethal, bro. That's like a shotgun.
Even when you think about why Floyd had to go in there and do what he did to Maidana, because Maidana did what he did to Broner. Now, what was in the gloves and all that, that's different, but you looking at the same thing, because if you think about boxing, you would say, oh, Adrian Broner all day. But he got in there with Maidana with that pressure that is unconventional. He did a lot of overhand stuff. That's not Matias. Subriel is instinctive, but it's almost like when he in his range, and I think for some reason, I kind of think in them first 2-3 rounds, he like, all right, I'm gonna see how he hit me from there. All right, cool, I got that. And sometimes I'd be scared because it's like he take in too much water, but it's almost like he gonna let you get that off, and it's demoralizing once he turn it on. And it's almost
and now
like
go crazy.
Downfall.
DJ.
let me ask you a question, guys. What do you think the best footwork artist in the entire world that we know of today is going to do when this guy comes with his hands down trying to run at Mr. Haney? You think he's going to just let him cut off the ring with his hands down and get beat up?
But this the thing. This the thing, DJ.
Yeah.
I meant to answer this. Now, maybe Malik Hawkins, maybe he didn't fight at the distance that a Devin Haney would, but with Malik Hawkins, I can guarantee you Malik Hawkins punch harder than Devin Haney. And this the other thing. That's the other dangerous thing about Subriel Matias. He's almost like Tank in a sense to where once he feel like, oh, okay, well, you can hit me with everything but the kitchen sink. It don't matter what you hit him with. So it might get to a point to where somebody like Devin Haney, he might let him hit him. Because remember when the announcer was talking that stuff when Tank was in there with Leo Santa Cruz, he was like, oh, if he think that he's just gonna, and all of a sudden it's gonna be like that. He would let Devin Haney. He ain't just. He might initially. He might just not just walk in to where he just let him bop. But eventually,
I'll do a quick counter argument to that real quick.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll do a quick counter real quick. Just because definitely I see the argument for Matias. Like, Haney got the footwork right. He got definitely the best footwork at 140, right? The jab is on, like, his jab is like 10 out of 10, right? Yep. So those things are going to be in Matias' way, but this is my argument. Matias with the jab, because I'm not talking about Matias' power. I'm talking about what he does against the jab. And you watch the Hawkins fight. Hawkins was trying to get the jab out. That was the game plan. And what Matias did was, he'll let him range, keep that range. But Matias, his own jab, when Hawkins came in, Matias found the timing. So, I think people are going to be shocked by the hand speed that Matias has because to think of him as a pressure fighter, he is, right? But to get to that pressure, he has to find a way to get in. And, he's not Prograis. Prograis has a 67 arm reach. So Haney's jab is going to look fantastic against a guy that can't reach you. But Matias' reach is 72 inches. And Matias is 5'9". So it's like, you got somebody the same size, right? You're not going to see that stuff that Loma did. Loma's a small guy, so you could put your weight on Loma and hug him and shit, to drain his energy. But Matias is just as big as Haney. So I think in the later rounds, I think the body work in the later rounds, I think Haney will win 6 rounds straight. I think from round 1 to 6, Haney will win those. But I think in the later rounds, when we get to like 10, 11, and 12, if Haney makes it, all the credit to him. But I don't see the fight ending in a decision because those punches accumulated. Even if Haney's blocking these body shots. Matias, and I worked my guy, Ishmael Villarreal, he's a pro fighter in New York. He sparred with Matias in Puerto Rico. And he told me when he sparred with Matias, he has paralyzing power. So what this means is like by the 3rd round, you're going to feel his punches like a month from now. And it's like they linger on your body. And by the you don't want to do all that distancing for 12 rounds because you don't have your legs. You saw Ergashev. He kept the distance. He kept it a long range fight, and Ergashev won round 1 and round 2, right? Mm-hmm. But eventually it's like, damn, like these punches, sink you, and you can't really. And then Ergashev wanted to blame it on the injury and all that, but I felt like Matias got the body work in, and that body work kind of made him slower. And I think that body work would be an investment for Matias. The same thing for Haney too. Haney needs to get to the body. And Haney definitely showed he could win a round just going to the body because that's how he won round 12 against Lomachenko. Yeah. He went to that body and Lomachenko was like, fuck, I can't turn my engine now because, Haney put the brakes on Loma in round 12. So it's going to be a great fight. But I think Matias' style is the best style for Haney because Matias has that. It's not just pressure, it's time pressure. I think he will find a way to negate the jab of Haney because Matias, what he does, he times his jab and he has a jab too. And he's actually a lefty fighting orthodox. So his jab is like a power shot in a way. And I think that would be a problem for Haney because, I think against Teofimo, Haney would find it more easier to find somebody to go for, Teofimo's doing his 1 and 2s, with his, beautiful shots, but they miss a lot. Matias lands at 39%. And he's throwing about 88 punches per round. So it's like, you got a guy at high volume, very accurate. And, he's not lunging, you know, he walks in, but he cuts the ring. You know, he has the reach, but he comes in. He's not like, you know, desperately throwing to get you. You know, I think he finds a way, you know, to do land, and he's not worried about landing one punch. He wants to get like 6 punches off on you, and I think that's what makes him hard to fight him in later rounds. I think in the first 3-5 rounds, Haney's gonna win. He's gonna move distance the ring, you know, get Matias off balance, you know, maybe, you know, get Matias with a few good shots. But I think once Matias gets the timing of the jab, you know, it'll be a different fight.
Haney's gonna come into that fight the best shape in his entire life. I wouldn't be surprised if he even stands up in between rounds just to make a point, or not tired at all. And I just can't see his team allowing him not to be ready to go 15 plus rounds for a guy like that. And that's where it's going to be separation from a special fighter to a all-time great. And I can see Devin coming on top. I just can't see this man beating him, at all.
This the thing, though. This is the thing. I can't give any credence to somebody who always had. This Ryan Garcia fight, this is the first time you actually going to see this man where he don't have all the advantages. I mean, you got to consider that. And when we're talking about this, the reason why they give you the height and the reach dimension. And then you also got to think that Ponce and Ergashev, like Ergashev can crack. Like they can crack. Like Devin Haney, he can't. If like, man, Subriel Matias has taken on some brutal punishment, like straight to the face, like he got buckled. I seen him against Ergashev, got hit with a body shot, leaned up against the ropes and came back. Like he's a tough cookie. It's not just going, Devin is not just going to be able to just go in there and snipe and then move and then snipe. That's a lot of pressure. That's mental pressure. And that's going to make him move around even more than what he normally does. You know what I'm saying? Like when it came point in time, most of the time when you get off at an angle and you get to your spot on defense, right? When you get off to an angle and get to your spot and somebody come in to attack, you already know what punches you're going to fire off and where the point of attack is and where you got to move next. We didn't see any of that from Regis. He just let Devin just come in. He ran into stuff. He didn't use no jab to walk in. A lot of people are getting real heavy on this last performance, but if you look at what Lomachenko was able to do, it was different. He said, look, Dad, they already figured me out. Like Matias, it don't look like it's technical, but as far as him being able to just take what Devin give him and make Devin run around like that, he ain't gonna be able to buy, like my man said, I'm giving it round 4. But Devin ain't gonna be able to move that much, man. For that amount of time with that much pressure, meaning that if you miss any small step, the minute that man touch you, it's gonna be over. You got to score point too.
I think if Devin has the energy to go, like let's say he comes to this fight in great shape, right? But I think even with his energy being up, I think it's the punch threshold. And what I'm trying to say is, I think Matias doesn't have to land an excessive amount of punches to hurt Devin. And I feel like, but getting to Devin would be difficult because, Devin is going to be moving. But I think Devin, if he's going to invest in the body, he has to understand that Matias is not a wide puncher. And Matias likes to sneak in a lot of these, like I said, fly swatter punches. So I think if Devin does go to the body, he has to be very cautious to not getting caught returning back, because that's the only thing. And then look, maybe in the training camp, he could fix that. He could adjust that and he could come, bring a whole new dimension to his game and then show us something like world class. Because look, Haney been doing this shit for a long time, and Haney definitely got the training. He got the team around him. He got the dedication. We can't take that away from him, But I think that style is the best style to stop Haney, because I think what Lomachenko lacked was the body work and the work rate. Because I'll be honest with you, I like Loma, and I think Loma is like world class. He's actually I was a Loma fan like even before he went pro, because I saw him in the Olympics. I was like, oh my god, this guy's like godlike. But I think he lacks the volume that Matias, because Matias is throwing 88 punches per round. So against Haney, it's going to be less, you know, because Haney's going to keep it long range, so Matias is going to throw less. But once he gets to a closer range, which, you know, Haney wants to get to, because I think with a jab, you know, he can land it, but is he going to hurt Matias with the jab? Or is it going to be, you know, Matias coming in and getting caught with a hook? Because
Haney, it's not going to hurt him to the head.
Yeah, because I know Haney has a hook.
Disrupt his momentum. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
He's going to only be able to hit Haney with arm shots, which are not nearly as much as you know, if he traps you in the corner and puts some, you know, his hips behind stuff. And it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough to take down the Dream, guys. Come on. If I was a betting man, I'd give you both 2-1 odds on this one.
For me, I have it so for Matias because only because I know Matias has that style that would like kind of like shock people, like, whoa, this wasn't even that close. Like, people are gonna look at it like, what the fuck we were talking about. And it's not a diss to Haney, because I think Haney could beat most people. But for me, I think his nemesis is Matias, and I'm gonna give you an example. Even in Margarito Cotto too, and I know I'm gonna upset a lot of the Puerto Ricans in chat. I was born in Puerto Rico, in Fajardo, Puerto Rico, right? But I'm gonna upset my people right now. In Cotto Margarito 2 in the rematch, right? Cotto won, right? But in that fight, Margarito was still catching Cotto. And what I mean by that is because Margarito's style, no matter how good Cotto fights, is gonna get to him in some type of way. And I think that's the case for Haney and Matias. Matias' style is going to negate the jab, and then Haney wants to get to the body, but Matias has the timing, the unconventional timing that Haney would kind of find problems, you know, getting through. Only because I think Matias has underrated hand speed. I think Matias' hand speed is, you know, and it's because of the way he punches. He's not like throwing wide punches. They're very, you know, short, not a lot of, you know, waist movement, a lot of arm punches, and so there's less time and space for it to return. I think, yeah, like, that's a good point you made. You know, Haney is going to definitely invest to the body, possibly hurt Matias to the body, but I think that comes with great risk. And I think, you know, either way, it's a fight that needs to be made at 140, because it's the two most polarizing styles. You know, you got the pure boxer against, you know, the pressure fighter. You know, the boogeyman. That's a perfect matchup, and I think what's happening now is, you know, Sandor Martin got that step aside money, and I think what Bill wants to do is get a replacement, because I know they're saying, my bad, guys, I gotta call you back real quick.
All right.
Yep.
Okay,
but DJ, hey, when that fight, if that fight presents itself, then we have to bet like 500 push-ups. What do you think?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think here. So I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. But I certainly can't do them all even close to one time.
Oh, no, I'll take installments. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'll do it, man.
Okay. So we got a friendly gentleman's bet. Like that fight ever take place, I got Matias. If he lose, I owe you 500. And if Devin pulls it off, I owe you 5.
Yeah, you know what? I really like that idea, because I don't bet any money since the Cotto Margarito, my man mentioned that fight. Number 2, I lost a shitload of money on that one. So I thought for sure Margarito was going to tie my man up and just kind of end the old rivalry once and for all after the first beating he gave him. I said, this is a lock. And then, you know, I put a lot of money on that one at the time, and I just lost. And so sports gambling's not for me, but I really like your push-up idea, because I bet my man. I'll take Haney in that one. I will.
All right, well, we got a good gentleman's bet, man. But keep chiming in, man. I like the energy. I like how you defend Haney, because a lot of his fans, the only fans, they're obnoxious, man. So I appreciate your stance and how you brought logic and reason and rationale behind it. It wasn't just some blind faith stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's nerve-wracking listening to him, because I've been following this Devin Haney for years now, and just, you know, watching and documenting and looking at the journey, man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. As a guy, as a person, an individual person, I'm not a huge. I'm not on that bandwagon. How he conducts himself as a religious fellow, and he's got bling everywhere, and just the way he is. God doesn't care about any of that, believe me. But as far as the skill set and being truly unique and individual for footwork, body work, and just taking on all comers, I can't help but just stand aside and say, okay, we have someone that's in ATG here, and I truly believe that. So yeah, I'll take that. I'll take you up on that.
All right, then. Well,
Body
shoot,
work.
holler, like, stay informed, like, come back and chime in whenever necessary, not just about these guys, but about other guys too, man. But thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me on your show, Bodywork.
No problem.
Yeah,
man.
yo, DJ, thanks for coming by, bro.
Salute, DJ.
I appreciate it, guys. I really
All
do.
right, man.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a good conversation.
All right, I'm gonna get what Koki said. Yeah, go ahead, Koki.
Yeah, my fault. I was talking about the Margarito fight. So, in the, he obviously cheated, right? He had plaster in the gloves, right?
Yeah.
So, in the beginning of the first fight, I'm talking about the first one they ever had, right? Cotto was winning, I say into the 6th round, but Margarito's style, and this is what I mean. It's like boxing works, but it works when you got the legs, right? And obviously, because Margarito had the bullshit in his gloves, Cotto took too much damage to keep on moving, and utilizing the ring generalship, just kind of using that. You saw Regis couldn't do what Margarito did, and that's like cutting off the ring, So in the second fight, Cotto did that. Cotto dominated, but even in domination, because I was rooting for Cotto, and I was actually was gonna go to the fight, but I was sick. But I wish I went. And man, it was amazing to watch. He kind of ended Margarito. Like that eye, man, that Pacquiao fucked up. Like I seen this dude with one. He looked like a pirate. Just bro had one eye. And it was great to see a cheater get beat up. And but that style, it's hard to fight if you don't have because Margarito was about 5'11". He used to weigh in like 180. He was a weight bully. Because remember, he was at welterweight with him and Paul Williams. Paul Williams was remember Paul Williams from Atlanta? Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a problem. People, he was about 6'2", and he was about fighting at welterweight. And
right.
We had a guy from Puerto Rico, Katana, right? Katana, he was a lefty, a southpaw, and Katana was giving him that body work and that hook, and then he upset him, and they had the rematch. Paul Williams, beat him in the rematch, but Paul Williams is another guy, high volume puncher, and a lot of guys didn't want to fight him. I'm not sure you remember back in the early 2000s, a lot of guys at 147 didn't want to fight Paul Williams.
Floyd. It was questioning whether, because Floyd always
I remember
said,
that.
He said something, but Floyd, that's one of the ones that they say, hey man, that was one of the ones that they say he, didn't choose to make that happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember, bro. I remember, following boxing back then was so, because remember you had Ricky Hatton, you had Floyd, you had Cotto, you had a Shane Mosley. So it was cool back then, but it was eventually they all fought each other, but except Paul Williams, because he had that accident, right? I think he had a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, he got hit on a motor while he was on a motorcycle. I think.
Yeah. Yo, he was a beast, bro. Yeah, he had a chin too, until he met Martinez. Martinez was a problem too.
But let me see. Haney always had an advantage before he comes in. Yeah, but to you, I think a lot of people when it come down to Devin, it's man, it's bad because it seems like everybody be so high when you come and you state the world, it's like you're taking away. I try not to take away. I try to just point out what's obviously been taking place, and we've never seen him against somebody that has advantages over him, and somebody that, like you said, with all that running around, all that outpointing and being able to stay outside, if somebody going to your body and they can get to your body whenever you get inside range to hit them, they can hit you. Whenever he get in touch, it's going to change the trajectory of how he's going to fight that fight. Things going to change after 2 or 3 rounds. That's going to change. He ain't gonna be able to just stay outside.
If you saw the Loma fight, what do you think? What was missing for Loma? Because I remember when they were in the clinch, I'm like, damn, that Haney is a big boy. Because Loma looks small in there, and I think in that clinch, Loma don't got that advantage to win those battles. I saw him lose in the clinch, and I saw Haney take advantage of that. And I'm like, I don't think he's gonna have that against guys like Gary Antoine Russell, who's 5'11". He got a 70 injuries. Gary Antoine Russell is a big 140, and Matias is a big one. Even Richardson Hitchens, he's about 5'11". These guys are big 140 guys. I think Haney strategically he went straight to pro grade. He was like, I'm gonna get the smallest guy at 140, pro grade. And look, pro grade could punch. He got that crazy kind of. He's a southpaw. He was on a hot streak, but against Haney's style, he's gonna look elementary. And that's just how it is. You're not gonna have a way to get to Haney if you don't cut off the ring, if you don't put in the body work, and you don't have a jab. You have to have a jab.
And thanks, Sam. But what I was gonna point out about that is, when I look at it, Devin Haney, he'll get off to a good start, and then he'll in the middle rounds he'll kind of take a break. So if you look at it, he got off to a good start. He surprised us because he went to Lomachenko's body early. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody who had success against Lomachenko, Salido and Teofimo Lopez, they went to his body. Right. And they pivoted and they turned him. So Devin Haney got off. He'll get off to a good start and jump out on you and go to your body. But then in the middle rounds, he'll take rounds off. And when I was doing my analysis, I said, man, either one of them, because Regis, he'll do that too. We call it falling asleep in the middle rounds. So they'll both fall asleep in the middle rounds. The only thing is, if we look at Matias, when it comes down to trying to get out to that good start, you can go to the body, but remember, it's not going to be like any other fight that he has, because now when he's going to the body, he's vulnerable. He's at his most vulnerable state. Inside, all the way inside for Devin, even though he got a nice little mid-range body shot, he just got to be active with hope that he land. But this is what I saw with Lomachenko. Lomachenko thought that he did enough going into that 11 and 12 to where he kind of could coast. But then I think when he really tried to turn it up, he couldn't because of the body work. But also, if you think about the pre-fight build, Devin Haney and them kept talking about and putting all his attention on Loma and how he was dirty. But when you look at when the actual fight happened, who was fighting dirty?
The clinch.
Who was doing that?
Haney
was doing that, right?
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be able to do that with Matias. It's like you want to get dirt, because one, you have to be inside where you can clinch, but Matias, he'll still hit you with them short, blunt. He that.
And you gotta fight. And you gotta fight back. In that situation, you gotta fight back.
Right.
You just because with him, and this is what Loma didn't do. Like when Haney fought dirty, like you said, when Haney fought dirty, Loma, he was too professional about it. He had a suit and tie. He was business about it. I'm like, bro, this is boxing. This guy's gonna be dirty. You got to fight back. And Haney was winning those moments. And I think in these moments, Matias, he's not gonna wear a tie and a suit and a blazer. Matias is gonna come in and Stone Cold Steve Austin cut Demon shorts. He's gonna come in with the boots, and he's gonna throw 6 to 8 punches off that clinch. And this is what I want to tell people, right? A lot of Haney fans don't agree with me, but I'm telling people, when you watch footage on Matias, the common trend in all his fights in the clinch, he knows how to manipulate. He takes one step back in to kind of, give you the impression he's coming off. But what he's doing is he's bringing the hook back. He's bringing the uppercut forward. He's bringing the 2 jabs in, these swivel jabs, and then you can't see it because his stance, he's flat-footed, right? And in the clinch, he hides himself. He hides his right hand, and all you got is the left shoulder. So he knows these angles. And I compare it to Roberto Duran. When Duran was on the inside, he would switch, from one shoulder to the other shoulder, and he's hitting both sides of the body. He's wrestling guys. It works, but I think you need Haney to go to the body early, and if he doesn't, I think Matias stops him in 7 to 8 rounds. You know, I don't see it going 9 to 10 because I don't think Haney's gonna like getting hit. I don't think Haney's gonna like how Matias gets him back. Haney tries to fight, you know, on the clinch. He's gonna be, you know, this dude is wrestling me. What's going on? You know, I'm not used to this. You know, Regis didn't do this. Loma didn't do this. You know, Linares surely didn't. You know, but you know, he eventually got him. You know, we saw the reaction. I think there's another thing too. When Haney gets hit, his reaction is noticeable. It's too noticeable. And I think, you know, Matias, I think that's why people call him the boogeyman, because when you hit Matias, it's like you step on a roach and you see the roach body still moving. Because you saw when a Nanyan hit him, Matias is still throwing. What the fuck? This guy just got knocked his head off. And it's like his body's like, no, we're not dead yet. And I think that's the difference between them. Like in exchange, you know, you definitely don't want to have them go, if you on Haney's team, you don't want them to exchange. But I think his chin, he's not going to like it. And he's going to show it. And off that body language, it's going to put them on a high anxiety situation where it's like, okay, we're not cool no more now. We don't got that coolness about us. You know, like, you know, the movement, the jab, the footwork. Now it's going to be about, damn, can we do this for 12 rounds? It's just really worth it now. And I think that's the point of the fight, because you're gonna have Haney fans. I'm gonna predict this. If the fight does happen, you know, pray to God it does, right? Haney fans are gonna go crazy the first 3 rounds. Haney fans are gonna be like, yo, Matias is a bum. Matias can't box, you know, Matias got no footwork. So the first 3 rounds, Haney is gonna probably win them, right? But when it gets to round 6, they're gonna be like, yo, what's going on with Haney? Why does Haney look so discouraged? You know, what's going on? What's going on with his body language? And those body shots and the jab, and you know, Matias got that hook, but I think Matias don't even got to land a hook to beat him. I think Matias could hurt him with the jab, could hurt him with the body shots, and I think Haney doesn't want to do that for 12 rounds. For 3, for 4, yeah, I think he would, but by round 6, them legs are gonna give out. With no legs, you can't move around the ring. You know, with no legs, your jab isn't gonna have enough snap on it, so. What are you gonna do? And that's what I ask Haney fans. I ask every Haney fan, yo, what's your game plan? But when Haney can't use his legs, you're gonna want him to fight back? You know, I don't think you really have a game plan, because it's easy to tell somebody, yeah, Haney's gonna win, but how much game plan you got? You got 1 game plan? Okay, cool. Matias got 10. You know why? Panda, Jay Nahar, right? Panda, Matias' coach, used to train Haney before Haney went pro. Jay Nahar was training Haney. And when you learn boxing, the most you absorb is when you in that like age, you know, 13 or like 17, like that's when you really absorb it, you know. And Jay knows Haney's tendencies. You know, he's in the West Coast, so he's seen half of his fights. You know, he knows half of the guys Haney fought too in Mexico. So, you know, Jay got the plan. He got the plan A, the plan B, the plan C. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be a tough fight for Haney, in my opinion.
That's why I didn't like the angle that Bill took, because he came more from a place of disrespect. It's like, man, this is a guy that took your son and had your son's best interest, and he know your son in and out. That's why I was like, it wouldn't be logical for them to be really ringing his doorbell looking for smoke, because he's changed. He can see how he developed and all that stuff. These guys, that's why I say about these pure boxers that like to let it always go to the scorecards, is that you put too much film out there. It's so much film on these guys that always go 12 that they can see. Panda knows him inside and out. And then also, Devin, man, I mean, nobody has really been able to make him make the adjustments. He's kind of always had to fight. He's kind of always had to fight the way he wanted to fight, like where he dictating the terms. He's not going to be able to dictate the terms the whole fight with somebody like that. So there's a lot of things we're going to see that we haven't been able to see, that he's getting the benefit of the doubt for before he's actually shown us that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's just interesting, man. I just found it odd how Subriel, he's not being mentioned. Even Barbosa wasn't even being mentioned. They skipped straight to Adrian Broner. They ain't even the guy that they had the press conference, Barbosa. They didn't even bring him up.
Oh yeah, you know, I think what Bill did, you know, Bill met with Oscar, and he's like, "Yo, let's make a plan for 140," and they did a map, and I think what the map was, Bill wants the Golden Boy. I'm gonna call them the Golden Boys, right? You got Jose Ramirez, you got Arnold Barboza, right? They just signed with Golden Boy, and I think they want. They'll do Haney in the future, but I think what they want for all three of them is, have them fight some older guys, some guys that they're not like that. So we're gonna have a Broner in there. We're gonna probably have who's somebody else, probably Ergashev. It'll be something like that. And I think they'll keep on fighting these like easy fights, and then they'll have them fight each other for like a mega fight, and then they'll do everything just to kill time. And in 3-4 years, you won't see a Devin Haney Matias fight. You probably see a Barboza Haney fight. You probably see a Jose Ramirez, Barboza. They'll do that. And I think guys like Liam Paro, Sandor Martin, those guys are going to be on the Bill's pockets. And I think Bill has that. I want to compare him to who's a character? No, let me not do that. But he's a pimp. Bill's a pimp, and Bill knows. He knows strategy. He knows how to play chess, and he knows how to get some pawns, how to get some, the knight, the rook. He knows it, and he's not a dumb guy, and he knows what Matias, calling Matias the one-armed bandit. He knows he's keeping Haney fans safe. Haney fans, they feel good when they hear that. Be like, Bill's not scared of Matias.
Right.
Bill got no fear of Matias, so we good. We'll be okay. And guess what? Since we're good, since Daddy Bill told us we're okay, we didn't even need to see the fight. What? We love Devin Haney, but who cares? Who cares if we see the Matias fight? Because guess what? Matias is a bum. Matias is a bum, and we don't need to see the. And that's what every Haney fan thinks. Yeah. I spoke to Haney fans. I'm like, do you want to see Devin Haney and Subriel Matias? You know what they tell me? They be like, let me get Barrios at 147. Let me get Broner. Let me get Adrian Broner. I'm like, you guys, as fans of your favorite fighter, you don't want your favorite fighter to get that like legacy fight, because this will go down in the history books. You had this boogeyman guy that a lot of people ducked, and you was a young 25-year-old champ that came up from 135, and then you did it. You stopped the boogeyman. You don't want that? And that's my problem, is like Haney fans don't want that. Haney fans are happy hearing Bill talk about like, oh, they didn't call me back. Peter Kahn told me, like, all that, like they look, those are their W's. That's how they get their wins. They're like, you know what? And I'm like, the life of a Haney fan, it can't be that exciting, because you're getting your W's on social media, and Bill posts a video with, this and that, like, Ryan having the mental health thing. Haney fans, what they're saying now is, since Ryan's having a mental health problem, they're saying, oh, Haney's the real boogeyman. Ryan's so scared now, he can't even show up to fight. You know why? Because Devin is putting fear into everybody at 140. I'm like, yeah, right. Come on.
Yeah, man, it's just they gonna, at this point in time, he falls in that walking Hall of Famer class, like, was where his name's up in lights because of what he did. And it's like, really, when you strip it down, it's like he unified once, he moved up, and yes, he did fight a notable opponent with Regis. I give him credit for those two things. But when you look at it, man, it's been very strategic. It's not been, I'm taking on all comers. It's like, no, I'm going to attach my name to all comers. I'm going to throw all the linguine up on the refrigerator, and the one that sticks is the one I'm going with. And hindsight is always 20/20 with them guys. So it's no real, it's just like the whole push for the Ryan Garcia fight. If you get the average Devin Haney fan right now, and you put him up there and you say, look, man, I don't got no problem with you. You don't got no problem with me. Just want to ask you a couple questions. They'll tell you about Ryan. They'll tell you that he has this, he's on the cocaine, and that they see quit in him, and that he ain't nothing. Devin just gonna wash him. It's like, okay, so what is your incentive to want to see that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When Subriel Matias has a whole country, you talking about a fan base, you go in there and you go over there, if you go see that man and you box his head off, you're gonna win his fans.
Yeah, they could go to your channel. They could go to your channel and see it.
What was that? Alexis Arguello and who was that he was fighting? Alexis Arguello and I forgot who it was, but they didn't like him coming in. And throughout the course of it, he fought so hard, he fought so well. By the end, they gave that man a standing ovation, and he won. Like, he won them over. Like, real fans, if you go in there and you disarm, defang, derail, like this, shut somebody down, a real fan gonna give you credit because you did something that nobody think can be done. But they will float on the premise that it's already happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, for him, all these things that they say about him, these things have already happened. It's like, no, they never even fought. Like, if you really look at it, like, his behavior didn't show that that's something he was really even interested in. But because they have these loud voices on the internet, and even these voices on the internet, it's not equating to people wanting to see those fights or put butts in seats. Why not put a real pelt on your wall? You know what I'm saying? Why not get a real pelt on your wall with Subriel Matias? He's legacy. He looking like nobody want to fight him. And if you do what you say you can do, trust me, it's going to pay all big dividends. The money's going to come. You get another belt, which means you're going to get more money, more legacy. Why not? It's because they don't really want to do that, man.
Well, that's definitely happening at 147 too, because, you know, you're right. Haney doesn't want to do that. He wants to take the route that's going to, you know, give the illusion of a legacy. He wants to get these fights that they look like good marriage. Like, okay, Regis Prograis. Oh man, you took Regis Prograis out. Oh man, that's great. But they're not going to tell you that Regis was 35. You know, they're not going to tell you that, you know, in this fight, Haney weighed in, you know, 160 something, and you know, Haney, you know, when he goes to a weight class that he should be at, so 147, he goes to 147, he gets Barrios, right? He's not going to get Stanionis. He's not going to get Ennis. He's going to do the same thing to them that he did to Matias, that he did to Gary Antoine Russell. He's going to do the same thing to them. He's going to, you know, freeze it out, be at the division for a while, and then bounce, and that's it. You know, he don't really have plans to, you know, really take those tough fights. Because against Ennis and Stanionis, I don't really favor Haney. You know, that kind of pressure and power, and you know, having somebody bigger than you is a difference. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, they're saying Alfredo Escalera is the name, who the guy who fought Alexis Aguayo. No,
Aaron Pryor.
Aaron Pryor.
Yeah. Aaron Pryor. I forgot. Yeah, Aaron Pryor. Yeah, I went back and watched that because me and my old head, we do a segment and we talked about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? Back sometime last year, we were talking about it. But when you look at the beginning of that fight, man, the crowd didn't like them. They were looking like boo. But by the end of that fight, you know what I'm saying? Because you can win. You can win in the ring. You can win. Real fans, not this stuff now to where as soon as you win, you don't get no credit. And it's much like it's politics, man. It's really like you really like being in high school when you know you got the jock that put this out or the cheerleader that put this out, and people want to be cool. They're gonna echo those same sentiments. Nobody really giving a real assessment on what they see. Even coaches, they starting to ask coaches, "Oh, what do you think about this fight?" And you could tell that they're lying. Like soon they start talking because they don't want to get on the wrong side. Like it was happening a lot with Canelo. Like nobody really want to say, "Oh, no, I don't think," or because they scared of the backlash. And that's what we're getting.
That happened with Panda. Panda was on Mill City, and they asked Panda, you know, what do you think about Bill? And they know, you know, Panda, you know, got a history of Bill too. So Panda's he's not gonna go, you know, hit him up, Tupac on him. You know, he's not gonna do that.
Yeah,
he's gonna talk respectful. But then Haney fans take that as like, oh, look at Panda talking about Bill. Panda doesn't respect Bill. Panda got a lot of respect for Bill. So it's like, oh, your coach is afraid of our guy. Yeah. And they use that to you know, build that fuel for like, you know, fucking Haney propaganda. They go to different channels to talk about it. And that's really the narrative, you know, until the fights happen. You know, Matias, you know, proves it. But I'm gonna respect Haney for taking the fight. But right now it doesn't look realistic because Lopez is quiet. Lopez doesn't say shit now. After that Ortiz fight, we haven't heard from Lopez in a minute. I haven't heard shit from Lopez at all. Like, man,
the reality of the state that we're in right now is really showing. It's for me as a boxing fan, it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of like where sometimes where if I don't really have nothing really good to say, I'm not gonna say it. But you can see this whenever, like this is how you can tell. Everybody else get put on the scales. If you look at it, somebody have a trash performance like what Shakur did, what they deem as trash, they're gonna come out and ridicule it. Like Who else had a trash performance? Jamel, that stinker that Jamel did when he fought Canelo. If you have a trash, they're gonna come out and say it. But do you notice that like whenever Devin comes up, there's never any real criticism. Like he does everything. You would think that he really walks on water, and you know what I'm saying? Like he really does like these miraculous things, but there's never nothing he ever does has any kind of criticism. That's how you know something is wrong, because we put all the fighters on the scale.
Yeah. May I use an analogy for that? I have an analogy for for what you just said about Devin. The analogy is, remember when Jordan retired and they were trying to look for his replacement? They're like, yo, who's going to replace Jordan now? Yeah. And it was up between, Kobe, even T-Mac. You remember early T-Mac, he had hype early in his career, before the injuries. You had LeBron, you had Vince Carter before the injury. So they were looking for that guy to replace that spot. And in relative to boxing, Mayweather was the guy. When Mayweather left, they were looking for that guy from, the USA that could represent, USA boxing.
Yeah.
And it was either up to Gervonta Davis or Devin Haney. And I feel like, you have a group that wanted to be Gervonta, and it is Gervonta right now, just based on like the numbers and, what he does. Like he could fight anybody, he's going to sell. But, Haney, I think there's another group that want to push for Haney to be the guy because, he got like this, this image, like this, family guy, like, never been arrested, all that. Like they probably want him to fill in that spot. And they know it's a lucrative spot because if you look at it, whenever they talk about Haney fighting, who they compare him always to is always one guy they put his name next to, and it's always Floyd. Can he reach that level of greatness? Can he be a GOAT? And they push that because how else are you gonna sell Haney? You're not gonna sell him for like, he knocked out this guy. He hasn't knocked anybody out in 5 years, so you can't say that. So now you gotta get a mirror, and in this mirror you gotta have Floyd Mayweather, and that's gonna be how Haney gets his career ascension. It's always gonna be that comparison because you want somebody to fill in for Floyd. It's just natural. It happened in Puerto Rican boxing when Cotto left. We didn't have anybody after that. Danny Garcia, when he went to Puerto Rico, he fucked up. He had a terrible performance in Puerto Rico. Danny Garcia, the guy from Philly.
Yeah.
He got exposed out there, and it could be Danny Garcia. Gabriel Rosado has mad heart, but Gabriel Rosado was just a tough motherfucker. He not a champion, but so now we got Matias who could be that guy, but he's not getting the fights that he needs to get to be in that position. So I feel like with Haney, he's gonna have that privilege of having the Floyd replacement. And that Floyd replacement, it's like a power up. It's like, you know what? I'm the next Floyd, so I'm that A-side guy. And I feel like, he needs to fight Matias to get that, that prominence. Because Floyd did it. Floyd had some tough fights before he became Money Mayweather. When he was Pretty Boy, he was fighting Corrales, he was fighting Castillo, he was fighting tons of guys that were really dangerous,
Yeah, he they force it. It's almost like we thirsty. It's almost like in the heavyweight division. It's like everybody was really clamoring, and so for a long time they were talking about one guy, and yeah, he was knocking a lot of people out, but like we knew that I speak personally. I knew that there was a benefit of somewhat of the heavyweight division not being what it really was. It's just now getting back up close to where you had the variety of it, and us wanting to just coin somebody to be that and put them up there because we really didn't have it. Like I think that's what they do with Devin. It's like a lot of the things that they push, it's like that's not his image. That's not even what he all about. That's not even the way they talk trash and how they go with everybody. That's not even his fighting style. Like he don't have the style that's gonna really like put a lot of butts in seats. Yeah. It's not like he don't have the entertainment, that it factor, whatever. He's a skilled boxer. I think they miscalculated what they wanted to do with his image, and now they want him to be the bad guy. So they'll say a lot of things where they attach themselves to whatever biggest name, whatever traction they can get off this name, with the possibility that you might just get in there with him, but you're never going to see him in there with him. So I think that's one thing where we're filling a void where he's not the guy that's gonna fill that void. Maybe Floyd was Floyd, and whoever's like hot, it will emerge. It's just like everybody saying the four kings. Just because somebody came out and said that was the four kings, that don't mean we gotta bracket it in and that was concrete. It's like, no, maybe one of them might have been established, one or two of them might have the inklings of being one, but maybe in this next year and a half, 2 years, we'll see who was the real kings, and we'll make that assessment in hindsight.
I agree. Yeah, it was too soon. Like, you're gonna give these guys
nobody had did anything yet. They hadn't even fought nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yo, Teofimo has like 20 fights. Like Teofimo hasn't even had like a long career yet. And I feel like, even with him, right, when he got the Josh Taylor win, I'm like, well, put it into perspective. The 140 division, when Josh Taylor was, ruling it, it wasn't that crazy yet. Because the 140 division had guys that were coming up, but they weren't getting the fights. And then Josh Taylor fights Jack Catterall. A lot of people thought Catterall won. But then right after he fights him, he vacates the IBF title. He vacates it when Matias is the mandatory. And so the fight that Matias wanted, he couldn't get. Because Josh Taylor vacated the title and he went to Teofimo. And I'm like, well, if you beat that version of Josh Taylor, imagine what Matias does, but you only have like this amount of fights. You didn't look great against Martin. You definitely lost to Cambosis, and the Ortiz fight wasn't a good fight. And I think, I seen the interview. He's like, Matias can't make the decisions when I want to negotiate a fight. I'm the king at 140. I'm like, you're the king. You only had one fight, and then at 140. But he fought another guy at 140, but it was like a tune-up fight, and I don't really consider that fight like a real. To me, that was like an exhibition, man. This guy wasn't even ranked. Yeah.
Carlos Campbell, yeah.
I wasn't even like. I was like, man, this guy's not even ranked like top 40. It's like, come on. And then you got Teo fans that say Matias didn't fight nobody, but then you got Teo fighting guys like that. Like, come on, man. Like, and I know Teo goes for tough fights, but it's like, he does have some cherry picks. He does have tuna fights. He does take long layoffs. And then Teo fans want Matias to fight on February 8th. But you never see Teo take like 2 months in between a fight. Teo will retire, come out, and he wants his 20 million. He wants his money, but his fans and then Haney fans, they both got the same like DNA. they're gonna talk that shit until they believe it. And I think Teo got to step up. And if he's not gonna step up, I really wish there was a way for Shakur Stevenson to be the replacement instead of Barboza. I wish, man. Because that's right up Stevenson's block, right by Brooklyn. He's in Newark.
I think Devin and them they're gonna run, man. They don't have no intentions. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But like, and I seen what Shakur said he'll be it, and it's like, well, we gotta figure out that WBC rule, man, and how he can do it with his belt. But I'm not sure, since he fought for a vacant, whether or not he can just move up like that right now and then just jump over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some red tape. It's something that we can look up. Something that I know I'm going to look up for future. But I was just thinking about, okay, because sometimes we got to qualify, man. Because a lot of times, I think these boxers be playing on the fact that people don't really know what's going on, so they can say it knowing that, oh man, yeah, and people gonna ride or die with it, but it's not really feasible or possible the way they be saying that they can do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, but yeah, man, I think this was a good one, man. Glad you hopped on, man. You be on it. I be seeing you out there doing that body work.
Yeah, man. I'm giving that body work to these Haney fans, man. I'm a menace, man. You know what? I think on these Haney channels, they already talk about me. Like, yo, don't let Koki get in the comment section, because he's gonna come in with the stats and the polls and the dates and the timeline. And I'll be coming in with the information. Because I've been boxing is my life. I've been doing it for like all my life. But as a fan, I like to see styles collide. Like I like to see the opposite styles come. The box against pressure fighter. And I think that, these guys got to, find their nuts. They got to, find some, cojones and be like, let's make the fight. Fuck all the politics. Fuck what sells. Fuck how much it makes. Just make the fight. Fuck that, man. I know they're prize fighters, but this is a fight that you got to make, because people are going to talk about it. if you don't make it.
And you're gonna
But
be
yeah,
asked a question. When you hang up the gloves, man, you don't wanna, especially if you plan on being around and you plan on being all great, they're gonna ask you a question like, well, why you didn't never? You're gonna be plagued with that question. Why not check that block? And then, like I said, man, I'm changing his name from La Biblioteca to what did we say? It was the lie
the lie
detector.
detector. Yeah.
Yeah, the lie detector, man. It's like,
Yeah.
because you saying that you know, it's embarrassing. It's an
Yeah.
indictment of boxing right now. And it's like everybody claiming they want legacy. Even Tio, let's break it down to the Ortiz before I'm gonna wrap it up. But look, let's break it down to Ortiz and how he said, "Oh man, I want somebody to just fight me." You know, basically you want that mano a mano. It's like, who's better than Subriel? You ain't gonna have to chase him around.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, you don't really feel as confident going into that fight, but you would have everybody believe that you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exposure. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate what you do, because I didn't even think about it. I probably saw you before commenting. I'm like, you know, this guy's, but I know after you've been coming over here, I know I'll be seeing you and I'll be like, man, it's not easy to do, because they're gonna either ignore you and act like you didn't just spit all of the facts, or they're gonna jump and move it somewhere else. And it's like, nah, man, it's just it's what it is, man. We already know, man. You nervous for your fighter. Just say you nervous. Like, like I say, if you say, all right, Tank and Subriel, I'll be like, hey, that fight kind of made me, I want to see it. That fight made me nervous for this reason, that, and I can be like, hey, may the best man win. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, ain't no way, and no.
Right.
You know
For me, yeah.
real.
For me, those comments, I leave them as like planting the seed, because you know, I want to come back 2-3 years from now and be like, yo, what did we say last time? Well, what happened? Because you know, I'm just like you. I know you like to keep, you know, the videos like from the years ago and be like, I told you this, and I do the same thing. I love keeping track. You know, I like recording things down and just going over things, you know, doing a lot of, you know, reviewing. And I feel like going back, the fight happens, Matias wins, I want to go back to every comment, like, yo, what did we talk about last time? You know what I'm saying? And that's just to remind y'all that, you know, styles make fights, and that's what I believe in. But yo, this live was dope from the beginning to end, and the audio was always good. The audio just was a little different when you play the old video, but I can still hear it. The audio was good. The chat was live. Salute to the chat. Salute to Bodywork. Make sure you guys hit the like and follow the next video too for this week, because you know, Bodywork comes every day almost. Like we get free content every day. So shout out to Bodywork, keeping it consistent and keeping it live. And I appreciate you guys coming through.
Salute Coke, man. Subscribe to Coke, man. He be out there doing, you know, he be out there putting in work, man.
You guys could find my my main YouTube is FLEX Flex. FLEX and then Highland HY. I'll type it in the chat for y'all. But that's my main YouTube. You can see me spar. You can see me spar with some, you know, 190 guys. I do sparring videos. I got training people, but that's my main YouTube and all that. You guys can follow that. But much love to Bodywork, and you guys enjoy your night.
Salute, champ. Thanks.
Salute.
Man. Peace, man. Yeah, man. Like he said, man. And then unknown facts. Matias right there to be hit. T.O. scared. We already know what it is, man. But like I said, man, that's why I say I put up these videos. I show these videos. I keep them, man. You wouldn't believe, man. One of the more popular channels out here, man. This dude, we fell out because of Devin Haney and Tank. Now he the biggest Tank fan. I swear he be coming over pilfering product. A couple of his minions and people that's in that circle, they be coming over pilfering product, then getting up on other channels, acting like that was the first place that they came up with the stuff, not giving credit where it's due, man. It's funny, man. But I got those tapes of what I was saying. That's why I put. Like, that's why really to really appreciate the old videos when I do the way back Wednesdays or the throwback Thursdays, to really appreciate it. Look at those dates and those times and those thumbnails from when I did it. And then go back to your favorite content creator and look at that date and that time and see what they were saying back then. Be real interesting. But anyways, y'all, man, like always, man, we always have a great time. Thanks for everybody who came through and always support. I took like 2 days off just to sit back and watch and listen what everybody was saying, man. And it was stale, man. It was bad. It was hard to sit up here and listen to a lot of people, man, because a lot of people be shooting from the hip. stealing. You know what I'm saying? Don't got nothing real going on, man. Just hanging down there with that low level energy. But thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing. We don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to